Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 1 of our story. If you like this what if story and want to see part 2, let me know in the comments below. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, check the description for more great content and my playlist. This story was posted by 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘 on Wattpad. Now let's start. At hospital, Dr. I am sorry we cannot figure what quirk your child possess. He definitely do have a quirk, but we cannot comprehend what it is. Until he actually learn how to summon his quirk, we have to consider him a quirkless. However, we believe that your child do have a quirk. Deku, I want to know what is my quirk. Please tell me, is it my mother or my father's quirk? We don't know. You are a very unique child. No matter whatever it is, I have never seen someone like you who don't know what his quirk is. But have faith, I know it will be worthwhile. During kindergarten, since Izuku was not able to summon his quirk, few of the kids and teacher assumed that he is actually quirkless, and when that rumor spread, Izuku's friend turned against him and looked down at him. Katsuki, who knew what his quirk was and was praised that he will be next All Might, also insulted him, started calling him Deku, and it only grew worse between them. Izuku, who was hopeful that his quirk will summon in time, always waited for, but once his friendship broke with Katsuki, he remembered as Kaken. He looked upto All Might videos to believe that he will save people, one just like All Might. His mother Inko knew he has power, but since the said quirk had not manifested, she knew it would be impossible. Time passed and Izuku was right now in Aldra Junior High. His quirk had not manifested as he was thinking that it will be similar to his parent. His interaction with Katsuki was almost zero, and only when Katsuki wanted to show him his place that he is worthless. He was preparing his hero analysis and Katsuki blasted it and threw it and threatened him and told him to take dive off the roof. Izuku was so angry that he wanted to beat Katsuki right there, yet he knew it was impossible for him right now. Izuku, who believed that he actually had a quirk, was at its wit's end. He tried so many things yet nothing. Doctor keeps saying the same thing yet nothing. Izuku at that moment decided that he might become a quirkless hero, and while collecting his notebook, he went to the street which was a passage to his home route. At there he faced a sludge villain who almost killed him and then was saved by his idol All Might. In order to know his answers, he grabbed All Might, who was off to his departure, and when realized that he need to save it, landed at the rooftop. Unfortunately, the bottle never slipped and villain was still in All Might possession. At that moment, Izuku world shattered to the core to see his idol in his real state. When Izuku asked his question, he was given a cold reply from his idol. At that time, All Might told him it will be better for him to work as a police or a civil servant. Being a hero as quirkless will get him killed. Izuku, who was looking for some hope from his idol, had lost it. Izuku, who looked at All Might as hero, lost faith in him. He was just like the others. He lost it at the end. After that, he went back at his home. He teared apart All Might posters and his figures. In his anger, he tore the page of his autograph and crumbled it and threw it. He was crying and angry, but with a determined look he went and looked at the mirror. Izuku, I look pathetic. I believed I have a quirk, but it hasn't manifested yet. It almost 10 years. How long do I have to wait? All Might, I will make you eat your words back at you. You said I cannot become a hero, then I will show you that I can be a hero. With a new determination, he decided that he will train to prove that he is worth something. Izuku found the Daboga beach to be a perfect ground to train his body. While he was training, he decided to clean the beach. In order to reach a perfect method to build his body, he took notes from internet how to prepare for a fit body and diet of what he should eat. During the cleaning, he found an American shield with a star on its surface. While it didn't seem like anything special, Izuku decided to actually keep it as he cleaned the entire shield surface until it became clean. Izuku, while using the shield as a frisbee, realized that this shield is actually a lot stronger than it looks since it made a dent on a refrigerator. Izuku looked up to it and made sure to keep it with him. As time and training was passing by, Izuku became somewhat attached to the shield. He even developed few new ways to use the shield, as target hitting and catching it while throwing it in geometrical and angular ways. During this 10 months, Izuku built himself, but he only managed to clean half of the beach since he trained a lot with his new shield. However, it didn't matter to him. He prepared for the UA entrance exam to enter, and his eyes shine with anger and determination. Meanwhile, in UA, Nedzu, It seems you are willing to accept my offer. 𝐻𝗧𝗟𝗘. Hi, it seems while I am looking for a successor, I believe I must find a way to work after my time will be job will also help me to find a potential successor. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, and I believe we have already chosen as he fits in your description of thinking way. Won't you give it to him? 𝗬𝗧𝗟𝗘, please give me few more time. I know 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏 is good kid, but I am looking for someone who can inspire even me. I did something I shouldn't have done to a quirkless kid, so please few more time and I promise I will give a real thought to what you have to offer. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏, it alright. No one is forcing you. You can take your time, but please remind that you have a very little time left, so please be quick. 𝗬𝗧𝗟𝗘, I will be. Meanwhile, during the entrance exam, Izuku entered at the gate of UA entrance exam. His anger clearly visible in his eyes to the point that he didn't look at Katsuki, who just bypassed him. With his shield and only his body, he decided to enter to register the shield he is going to use during the entrance exam. Receptionist, who had seen many quirkless students willing to prove that they can be heroes only to be stuck in general course and never making out as a hero, said, "Receptionist, kid, are you perhaps quirkless?" Izuku, no I am not, but I don't know what it is. I have not been able to summon it for past 10 years, but Drive always keeps saying that I have a quirk. At this point I have lost my mind. Quirk or not, I will pass this entrance exam. Receptionist, alright, listen kid, I know I have seen many students who lost their hope after not chosen for hero course. But I wish you all the best. Izuku, thanks, I guess. Receptionist, kid, I can see anger in your eyes. I don't know what happened to you, but at least don't forget what it means to be a hero. The school may put quirks a priority, but just let me give you this advice. No matter if your quirk manifest or not, be sure that you will be good human till the end of your life. Now, go for the briefing, you will be explained there the exam details. Izuku, a good human. I will keep that in mind. As Izuku was leaving for the examination hall, the receptionist, who is none other than 13 in her civilian clothing, acting as a receptionist for a moment because the other receptionist was on a break for a moment, just wished that kid will be she was also judge of the rescue point system. She went back to wear her costume and joined the panel. As Izuku listened to the mic words, he understood it very clearly, and this time without making any noise or mumbling. His anger had somewhat calmed down but still present in his eyes. Katsuki noted this change in his behavior since 10 months. He don't know what caused it, but he realized that Deku has lost his decency and now do not hesitate to fight back. He wanted to know what caused it. And they were given their zones to fight. This time as the gate opened, he ran straight out of the gate. He ran at the alleyway, and the moment he saw one pointer he threw his shield and it broke that pointer and grabbed the shield as it came back to him. Izuku, not that I am complaining, but this thing is really powerful. As he was running, he was surrounded by 3 two-pointer and said, "This is getting better and better." He threw the shield, which broke the face of the robot, and grabbed the shield as it returned and deflected the attack the robot launched at him, and using his momentum to press the off 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, and using the shield again to break the robot leg to completely throw his balance, and he pressed the 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗃 off button. Izuku, alright, let's get some more points. As he ran in the city to find more pointer robots. As Izuku and other are doing their exam, they did not realize that they are being watched by pro heroes. Snipe, I am surprised that a quirkless kid is capable of taking down those robots. With those throw of his shield, he is basically defying the laws of physics. 13. He is actually not quirkless, Snipe. It seems that he has not been able to manifest his quirk till now. But even without a quirk, he is doing a pretty god job out there. Nemuri, so he is not aware of how to activate his quirk. It is really troublesome. It is rare case, but it was common during the quirk manifestation era. I don't believe that there is another one who actually doesn't know how to activate it. But I have to admit, kid got guts to try it here. Cementos. Others are doing also very well. Especially that explosive kid, he is having his way with robots. And now it at the top in term of villain points. Vlad. Then let's increase the difficulty and see they are worthy in peer pressure. At that, 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 pressed the button to release the 0-pointer. As Izuku was breathing heavily, he managed to secure somehow 24 points. He was quirkless and somehow barely managed to get those points. And he realized that if he had not found the shield, he wouldn't be able to seize the points either. Izuku realized that this shield was also thrown away because it had lost its purpose to those who deemed that their quirks are better than this shield. Just like he was. He was deemed quirkless, a forgotten relic of time who has no use in this world. He was also thrown away by this society because they deemed him worthless. Yet he didn't give up. A worthless kid found a worthless shield, and realizing the potential of the shield, he kept it and grew attached to it. As Izuku was thinking hard, he saw what would be considered a monster. A 0-pointer was advancing at them at fast pace. As he was planning to avoid it, his eye looked at the girl who was stuck at the debris, not able to free herself. Izuku was at dilemma of what he should do. Should he run away or help her? He remembered what that receptionist said to him, and with a firm resolve he decided to help her. He ran at the very fast pace and hit the debris with his shield. Izuku, don't worry, I will help you to get out of here. As he kept hitting it, the boulder broke at the impact of the shield, and girl somehow managed to get free of her leg. But the said girl was not able to stand properly, and she fell again. Seeing that 0-point is raising his arm at the girl with a desperate look, he grabbed her hands with his hand and brought his shield at his left arm to protect the girl and take the impact for himself, but before both of them could understood, they morphed into light energy. Izuku in light green and 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘 in light pink, and those energies started accumulating and formed a single person. Said person was neither Izuku or the 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘 but a female, somewhat a mix of both. Her face was of her 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘, but the freckles of Izuku was present at her cheeks. Her hair is a mismatch color starting with the root of green but ending with brown. Her eyes are heteromorphical green in right and brown in the left. Their costumes had also merged together, and Izuku tracksuit combined with her tracksuit, giving it bluish-black suit. Before she could understand, she avoided the upcoming impact and took the shield which was laying on the ground. She said, "Whoa, what happened to 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘? Wait a minute, why the heck I am a female? But I am Izuku, but I am also 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘, right?" Looking herself at the mirror of the building, the female realized something and said, "I see, so this is Izuku Quirk. He can combine, or more accurately fuse with people, and can create a fusion." She dodged the other attack as she somehow activated her quirk on the robot and herself, and to her surprise she flew up in air. As she thought of stop this, she was levitating in the air. Fusion. I see, not only Izuku can create fusion, but the fusion quirk is somewhat a mutated version of the 𝗧𝗓𝗧𝗟𝗘 quirk. Izuku, your quirk is a real lifesaver. So what should I call myself, since I am neither Izuku or 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘? Why don't I took it from both? Izuku plus 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗧𝗟𝗃, it feels weird. How about 𝐒𝐮𝗧𝗑𝗘? Fusion star of gravity. That sounds nice. As she was thinking of herself, she saw how 0-pointer is still causing havoc in the air, as it will destroy the building. 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗃, so you are still here. Let's see if our new power can take you down. She floated the shield Izuku had with him, grabbed it and control it, and said, "Oh, it seems like I can control the gravity of the object and move it in the direction I want. Let's play hit the robot." With that, she started to throw the shield at the joints of the robots. As she was throwing the shield, she increased the gravity of 𝗧𝗓𝗧𝗟𝗃 so it can hit hard that it tore apart its limb. She did the same to all the joints, and it started to fall slowly on the ground, and 𝗒𝗧𝗟𝗃 realized the ground has been cleared and no one is present. 𝗒𝗧𝗟𝗃, sorry for the collateral damage, but you are going down. At that, she grabbed the shield and took a dive right in the middle of the robot. With a loud yell of gravity rush, she crashed the robot right into the ground, completely destroying it. 𝗒𝗧𝗟𝗃, landing on the ground, she said, "You are nothing compared to me." She felt that she needed to split up as she felt her energy depleted. 𝗒𝗧𝗟𝗃, I guess my time is up. It was nice. Izuku, 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗃, thank you. I wish you can bring me in the future real soon. Since I cannot exist without you too, especially you Izuku, since you are responsible for my birch as 𝗒𝗧𝗟𝗃, right? And that was when their energy split apart, forming two different people, one male and another female. While the female looked fine and somewhat was able to walk, unlike she felt her injury on her leg is gone. But where? And then when she looked at the boy, he was unable to stand on his feet and was vomiting just like her when she overuses her quirk. As she was about to ask him, Izuku decided to take his shield and go some other place for more point, but he collapsed and lost consciousness. It was at that moment that it was announced time up by Mike. At the time of fusion snipe, did he just fuse with that girl and become a single person right now? Vlad, it seemed that way. But I am not sure if it will help her. Please bring out their data. Cementos, Midoriya quirk not known. And Uraraka Ochako, 0 gravity. But that girl or Fusion is showing a complete different quirk. They were shocked to see that Fusion is literally flying and is controlling a shield the boy had with him, similar with a telekinesis ability. Ectoplasm. Okay, something is different about her. She is not using 0 gravity but somewhat more powerful than 0 gravity. Nemuri. Is this some sort of quirk mutation? Since she is combination of both boy and girl, is it possible that because of that boy Fusion quirk, the girl quirk has evolved for Fusion to be used by her? 13. I am going to say yes. The girl Uraraka had not shown anything like flying with her quirk, and she didn't perform any telekinetic ability. True, she released the gravity, but she never controlled the object like the Fusion. Nemuri. Wait a minute, is she going to do what I think she is going to do? Ectoplasm. Collateral damage, yes. But since area is abandoned, we cannot deduce point from her or them, I guess. 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘. Now this is something I have never seen in my entire life. That quirk is a real blessing, and so much of untapped potential is going to waste if we do not choose him. Aizawa. Principal, I want that kid Izuku Midoriya in my class. I don't know how you do it. Ken. Wait a minute, Aizawa, that is not fair. I want him in my class. His potential is going to waste if choose him, and expelled him if he did not perform up to your standard. You have done a lot of trouble with last year batch too. Aizawa. If he himself didn't have the potential, I hadn't chosen him. Till now that kid was fighting quirkless and he impressed me with his shield throwing methods, but that quirk had evolved him in various level. I want to take him to next level. I cannot agree on that. That kid will be better in my class. You already have sorted it on recommendations too. You choose powerhouse children such as Todoroki and Yaoyorozu, and I know you are planning to take that explosive kid. I will not compromise on this one. Izuku Midoriya will join in Class 1B. 13. Don't you think you are being too paranoid for a Kansas? That kid deserve Class 1A without a doubt, but I can also understand about the kid potential going to waste if he never realize what will be his possibility with your students. Principal. I believe there is some ground we have to compromise for his proper growth. 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘. How about this? He study with Class 1A normally and took extra training session with Kan and his student who are willing to stay for training. Can I know you want him, but look at his written test result. Knowing he did better than the rest, do you still believe he deserve Class 1B? No sir. I can compromise if I will become his training coach. His quirk fusion maybe, but there is one thing I know about it. It relies on trust and teamwork, which Aizawa students will lack since they want to solve every problem on their own. Because of my military background, I know I can teach him the value of true teamwork and trust among his comrades. Higuri. I know he has been chosen as a student, but do you guys have any idea how to evaluate their scoring system? His fusion has made things quite complicated, you know that, right? Which candidate deserve more rescue point? Which candidate you get my point? Nemuri. I believe teaching him will be quite troublesome. It seems that this year we have to teach possibly 79 students in first year for hero course. A record break number because of his problematic yet fascinating quirk. Snipe. 79 students, how? Ectoplasm. 20 from Class 1A plus 20 from Class 1B. 19 fusion students from Class 1A and 20 fusion students from Class Good. This year will be troublesome year. Toshinori thought. What have I done? He is the same boy I told to quit being a hero. I hope he doesn't remember me. Meanwhile at the ground, recovery girl. Oh Sonny, your own quirk did this to you. Ochako, ma'am, please look at him. I believe he has taken my leg injury and my nausea when we split apart. Recovery girl. Really? Sonny, what kind of quirk do you possess? Bring him to the infirmary. And Robot took Midoriya, but for some reason he tightly clutched on his shield. Ochako helped him and Izuku was taken to infirmary. For some reason she tagged along as she somehow remember his name, his parents' name, his childhood bully, his meeting with All Might true form, his anger for his hero, his determination to prove that he is worth something. She remember all of it. Meanwhile, all among the crowds, all of them were talking of how useless that quirk is. He can't become a hero if that is his quirk. He always needs someone else to rely on, and there is no way UA will accept someone like him. To other, it seems like that boy used his quirk and took advantage of the girl quirk. while to some it seemed that boy used his quirk to save the girl. Some even talked about that how creepy it is to have fuse with it. They thought of him some sort of pervert for turning his gender with his quirk. Except for one, Ida knew that with boy quirk somehow he formed a new person. A person who was a female, and for some reason the quirk of the girl who merged with him has evolved. He evolved her quirk, and this new female somehow won this and saved that girl life. He realized that he would have helped her too if it was not for the test. Then it hit him, and he realized that there might be rescue aspect of the test. He then re-evaluated the boy who helped the girl. In the infirmary, the boy who was injured and resting and the girl who was with him along with recovery girl was waiting for him to wake up. When teachers heard that the fusion boy is in infirmary, 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐦𝐸𝐵, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴, 13, ectoplasm and 𝗏𝐬𝐴 decided to pay visit to the miracle boy. When the boy was sleeping, all the teachers were surprised to see the girl who fused with him. 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐸𝐵, young lady, why are you still here? You should go to your home by now. 𝗏𝗏, no ma'am. I want to ask him a lot of things. He took my injury and my nausea when we split apart. And I know everything about him. His past, his bullying for being quirkless and his anger for All Might himself. All Might with such a severe injury and so thin. Are you aware that All Might is weakened, that he has lost his stomach and ribs? 𝗏𝐬𝐴, wow, young lady. Who told you about such things? 𝗏𝗏, when we split apart his memories were somehow inside me. I also know that All Might broke his hopes, saying that he cannot become a hero without a quirk. He was so angry that he tore apart all his All Might collection and threw them away from that day. 𝗏𝗏 thought, that idiot All Might. And here I thought that it was my forte to break children and push them to their limit. He was looking for some hope at that time, and now look at him. I need to sort out this mess before it escalates. 𝐒𝐮𝐴, it seems we need to give him a lecture of how he should act as a teacher. Moreover, it seems that the fusion kid also has some disadvantages to his quirk. Ectoplasm, pain absorbing and memory sharing. It has its advantages but lot of limitations. He will be a challenge to train. I believe that the kid was not aware of his quirk drawback. Uraraka Ochako, if I am correct. Ochako, yes sir. What were you thinking when you two split apart? Ochako, I felt grateful for his quirk as Izuku. He saved my life, but because of that I failed to realize what will happen if we split apart in such exhausted and injured condition. Due to this, I believe he ended up taking all the damage of the fusion on himself. Had I been conscious of this, I believe I could have taken few of fusion damage to myself, so Izuku would be better than his current condition. 13. So it is not pain absorbing but pain sharing. That means if someone selfish decided to use his quirk for himself, he will give all the damage of the fusion to him alone, making him vulnerable to attack after that. Recovery girl, this is quite a trouble. That means he will be visiting my infirmary a lot than I expected. 𝗏𝗏, as if I will allow it to happen. Principal, when I say that he is an exception to UA standard rules, you have to agree with me. 𝗏𝗏, yes. All this time we have only trained student who work solely to improve their quirk, but his case is different. Just like Ken said, his quirk need teamwork, trust and moreover faith that his fusion partner will not use him for his personal goals. 𝗏𝗏, can I want you take your student quirk assessment test on the same day at the same time, but he should not be judged under those rules of yours 𝗏𝗏. He has untapped potential and I will give him the special privilege I discussed with you Kansas Can and 𝗏𝗏. Yes sir. 𝗏𝗏, oh, it seems our guest is awake. Izuku, where am I? Where is my shield? Recovery girl, first you woke up and you are worried about your dumb shield. Izuku answers while little sleepy, it is not a dumb shield. I found it in the Daboga beach. It was made with the strongest metal of the earth, I think. It was thrown because it no longer served its purpose since quirks are preferred over. And I think it is very powerful item than any support company item can make in this world. Ochako, here is your shield Izuku. Izuku, thanks Ochako. I am sure your parents will be proud of you. After all, your points were more than me. I guess I failed the exam. Ectoplasm, I believe you should open your eyes properly, kid. Izuku woke up clearly at that voice and was shocked to see so many pro heroes in this room. Izuku, wow, so many pro heroes. Ectoplasm, the clone hero. Vlad King, the BLD hero. 13. The rescue hero and Midnight, the R-rated hero. Recovery girl, the youthful heroine, and you are Sir. Aizawa, Shota Aizawa. Izuku, the underground hero, erasure heist. Nedzu, I am the principal of UA. Izuku, the most intelligent being on this planet with a powerful intelligent quirk. People can't tell whether you are a mouse or a bear or a dog, but you are a hybrid, which are referred as chimera in English. Everyone looked at him like he is the most intelligent person who figured Nedzu actual term for him. They have been struggling to think of a specific term for his species. Nedzu, you are exactly right, young man. From now onwards I will be referred as chimera. Izuku Midoriya, you are amazing. I like you now. Aizawa, okay, that settles it, he is a problem child. Izuku, I don't mean anything bad, but where am I? Nedzu, you are in UA infirmary. Midoriya, you activated your quirk during this entrance exam. You do know. Izuku, I remember myself watching a girl doing a lot to take down the 0-pointer. It felt like I was doing it, but at the same time it was not me. Like someone else is taking influence of my thinking and Ochako cheerful nature / thinking to fight that 0-pointer. I vaguely remember Ochako helping me, but my focus was on looking for more point, and after that point I lost consciousness. Ectoplasm, so you were not in control of the fusion. Ochako, yes sir, but somehow we felt like it was different person born from both of our personality with her own mind. Like a different person who has different taste and preferences, which was combined from our own choices, I think. Nemuri, so your fusion quirk allows you to create a being who is stronger than both of you with his own mind and along with a quirk mutation of who you are fused with. Izuku, fusion, I guess that fits with my quirk. But it is a waste after all. 13. Why do you think that, kid? Izuku, UA entrance exam was based to judge individual skills in point system and also in written exam. Practical tests do not evaluate a quirk of the person who was not present as an individual. And Izuchako did not count as a participant, so of course we won't be allowed to receive any point if Izuchako somehow did take on 1, 2, or 3 pointers robots. Aizawa, you figured out the flaw of UA practical exam in one try. Of course that is true if we only judged participant only on robot kill point based system. Ken, a hero who is not keen on helping others at the risk of his own life is not worthy to become a hero in the first place. Due to this we have a different point system to evaluate those candidates. 13, and that is called rescue points. When you risked yourself to save young Uraraka and when young Uraraka helped you to bring down that 0-pointer, they were all considered a part of rescue point system. Ectoplasm. Your quirk, which is the best example of teamwork, proved there is worth in awarding both of you in rescue point. As Ken said, without Uraraka help your fusion would never be able to use her power in the first place. Midnight. At you who helped her and you even took her injury and side effects of her quirk are rewarded with more rescue points. Uraraka, who had been rewarded with 45 rescue points and with her 28 villain point total of 73, your villain 24 points and rescue point of 60 points combined, you have aced the test and your score is of 84 points. Rank 1 in total. You can be proud of yourself. Izuku, who was on the verge of tears, started sobbing up. This is all so messed up. Nedzu, Izuku Midoriya, you have proven that you are worthy to attend this academy even if your quirk is not according to the UA school evaluation system, but we all know that a fish cannot walk on land and snake cannot fly if they were to given those tests. You are similar in that way, you who cannot be judged by our standard rules, but you have the potential to reach even greater heights than you can imagine. Izuku Midoriya and Uraraka Ochako, I welcome you to your hero academia. Izuku started crying of joy that he was selected as UA. Ochako, who was happy that she got selected in UA. But her point contribution made her realize that she made it this far because of Izuku fusion quirk. She felt that she had been awarded with a trophy, but this is just a start of the journey. Izuku, who decided to leave after having his injured leg heal, but Ken decided that he will take him in his car to drop him at his home. It is already evening and it won't be safe for him to walk like that. Ochako was also helped by Nemuri Kiyama and she took her to her home. When Izuku left, Ochako promised the teachers that she won't tell anyone about All Might and his injury. And all the staff were focused on how to help and sort out the problem aspect of Fusion Kid Quirk. Aizawa. We need to figure out this mess, otherwise whole student will become aware of All Might real self. But before that, you can come here, 𝐬𝐬𝐽. I have been meaning to give you a stern lecture of what it means to be a teacher. 𝐬𝐬𝐽, so you were aware I was here. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽, at least you have some decency to not come in front of the kid. He would have been traumatized if he realized that you are now a teacher here. ectoplasm. You cannot judge anyone potential because of the quirk they have or not All Might. Even I feel ashamed of you. Recovery girl, you have some nerve to say that to a kid. It seems like you forgot your time when you started out as hero. I guess I have to give Sora Hiko a call about this attitude of yours. 𝐬𝐬𝐽, please recovery girl. Anything but that. 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘, then I believe we should scout someone who can help us to prepare Izuku Midoriya to create a mental block of his memories. 𝐬𝐬𝐽, you know who can help. 𝐬𝐬𝐽, yes I believe. Shino, also known as Mandalady from Wild Wild PP Cat, who can use telepathy. I believe she might be able to help young Midoriya on how to prevent memory sharing you want to hide. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽, then send her a mail and tell her to help us to help with the training notes we need to consider in training him. Hero agencies will hunt him once they realize his quirk in Sports Festival. 𝐬𝐬𝐽, I will do that. But before that, Principal 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘, if I can be blunt with you, I believe he is worthy to inherit it. Will you consider him as one of the potential candidate? 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘, 𝐬𝐬𝐽, you need to learn to be somewhat tactfulness on what to speak and how to speak. Ectoplasm. All Might, what are you hiding? What is it that you consider him worthy to inherit? 𝐬𝐬𝐽, maybe I should explain from the beginning to everyone present here. I also wanted Kan and Namuri to be present here. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽, 13, and I will tell him whatever you want to share. So what is it? With that, All Might explained about his quirk, its history, and how he was the one who somehow managed to stay alive after injuring that villain. How he is now looking for a potential candidate to inherit his power to help him to defeat the symbol of evil once and for all. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽, this is ridiculous. So you became a teacher here so you can scout your potential candidate for the quirk you want to give him. Ectoplasm. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏 was your choice until Izuku Midoriya showed his quirk with untapped is insane. All Might, that kid hates you, and Night Eye Mirai will not like someone who hates you to be your successor. 13. But I want to ask you, why are choosing Izuku knowing that because of you he hates you now? 𝐬𝐬𝐽, because that villain has the power to steal the quirk and gave to someone else. Think about it. Young Midoriya quirk mutates the quirk of his fusion component / 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘. Since he want to be a hero, he will use his power to be a hero. But once Midoriya quirk become known to public, he will target young Midoriya and will steal it from him and gave it to someone who want to use it, pure tyranny. I cannot imagine the potential of damage that villain can do with young Midoriya quirk. And I have known from his fight. That villain does not take the quirk of those people who train their quirk to reach the top level. He wants simple but powerful quirk which can be accessed easily. Ectoplasm. Then we need to prioritize Midoriya's safety after the sports festival. I for once do not want his quirk to be stolen and used for any villain to be control. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, I was thinking the same all this time. With one for all, we can be assured that his fusion quirk will not be stolen by that villain. Personally, I want Izuku Midoriya to inherit your power rather than 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Since he trained his quirk, there is a less chance All for One will target 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Although it may seem cruel to 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and Mirai, we need to prevent for the worst-case scenario. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽, I am in. But we need the guidance of Gran Torino in this case. Since your power is of stockpile, that kid body will tear apart if he were to receive it now. Am I right? 𝐬𝐬𝐽, yes. He is close, but he just need a little bit of more muscle mass to take my power safely. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽, I will train the boy in that regard. But it will be quite a trouble from now onwards. At this rate he will outshine you, All Might. Ectoplasm. We became so excited about the potential of his fusion quirk. Think about how students will react if they realize once they are given the chance to perform fusion with him. How their power will mutate. How they can be a better hero with Midoriya fusion quirk. At that, All Might teaching here no longer concern them, as Midoriya quirk potential with them can give them goosebumps. 13. That is true in a way. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽, 13. I will entrust you to tell Kan and Namuri of what you learned here today. We need to make some change in the schedule of Class 1A and B. regarding their training and hero study. I will entrust 𝐒𝐻𝗟𝗚 and 𝐾AN for that so that both class can receive practical training at the same time. I don't want them to have dispute among each other as they are going to be comrades and fusion partners for Izuku Midoriya. And 𝐒𝐻𝗟𝗚 makes sure to drill it in them that they cannot use Midoriya for their personal gain. I don't want any fusion who will inflict all his pain to Izuku will be a test for them to prove their worth as heroes. All teachers nodded and prepared to do the same. Now young Midoriya, your journey will start from here and it will become tough from this point for you. But I know you can pull it off. Show me your resolve of plus ultra. When Izuku returned home, he looked at all the All Might figures he destroyed in his rage, but after passing today his anger has somewhat calmed down. Looking at Uraraka memories, he felt motivated for her goal and he decided that All Might did not matter to him. He was accepted in UA. He finally realized his quirk and how it worked. His quirk is powerful and dangerous too. Like a double-edged sword. Izuku, I believe I need to careful to use this power. Of course when I cannot use my quirk, you are my best partner. He looked at his shield and vowed that he will do his best. With that his days passed and took a good rest. He cannot wait, within next 2 days he is going to be in UA. But unknown to him, Katsuki Bakugo was seething that Izuku took the number 1 position with those ridiculous rescue points. That nerd beat him again. Why, he is quirkless for God's sake. He will inquire about it. Next day both Izuku and Katsuki were invited at principal office and principal was pleased that these two are going to be in UA high school. And principal even praised Midoriya for activating his quirk during the exam. Katsuki ear perked up at that as he realized that Deku had finally awakened his quirk. He believed that Deku is speaking nonsense to prove that he is not quirkless, but it seems he finally learned how to activate his quirk. He took Deku to the roof and pinned him and asked, Katsuki, what is meaning of this, Deku? How did you cheat in the exam? There is no way a quirkless like you can enter in UA. Izuku, who grabbed Katsuki's hands and throw it off from his shoulder, I don't care what you think of me, Katsuki Bakugo. As for newsflash, I have learned how to activate my quirk. It is a double-edged sword for me, but my quirk is a lot more powerful than I am myself. I don't care what you think. I was invited by most of the teachers of UA Academy in UA Infirmary. They said that I have the potential to be the best hero in this world. And I'm not going to betray their trust in me. They praised my quirk and my skills as a quirkless. So no matter what you say to me, I will attend UA, and that is final. And with that Izuku left the roof, leaving Katsuki to think what he actually said. Katsuki, that Deku was invited by UA teachers. It is not possible, otherwise I would be the one to receive that praise. Deku is not strongest hero. I am the strongest one and I will prove it, and I will make them change their mind. I am going to be the no one hero and surpass All Might. Just wait, Deku, I will show you your place. With that they finally bid their goodbye to junior high school and next day prepared for the UA Academy. Izuku's mother was happy that he has finally achieved what he wanted to be. He's going to be hero. She made sure to check everything his son needed, and with proud smile she wished him good luck for his journey. He didn't even know that UA is going to change because of him. The day was going to be fulfilling. Midoriya got his train on time and reached UA Academy grounds on time. He entered and found the big door of Class 1A. He was a bit surprised, but he assumed it is for those who have mutation or become tall because of the mutation. He didn't care either way. He himself is normal. Besides his physical fitness, only his quirk was powerful enough to make him and his partner stronger. When he entered the class, he was not amazed seeing Katsuki arguing with a tall spectacled boy who was disciplining him about manners. He didn't recognize any one of them. Beside Uraraka Ochako, he knew nothing about them and didn't bother to pay them enough attention, but he was well known to others. Thanks to Ida telling about the boy to the entire class, he saw of how Izuku Midoriya, a green-haired freckled boy, valued the saving a girl, and he is the strongest student of this entire class because of his didn't told about his quirk to others, but he told him that no one in the entire first year can match up to him, even the recommended students. Of course some took offense to that statement, such as Yororozu, Katsuki and Shoto. Katsuki knew that the glass was talking about Deku. He even asked what his quirk is, but yet Ida told them that it is not his place to tell about his quirk. Some even made fun of him, saying that he is bragging. But when Midoriya entered the class and without taking to anyone he took his seat without talking to anyone. Ida, who knew who the boy was, went toward him and said, "It is my pleasure to meet you, Izuku Midoriya. My name is Ida Tenya from Semi-Private Academy. Izuku Midoriya from Aldra Junior High. You are quite strict from your appearance. Are you somehow related to 𝐼𝐸𝐽𝐸𝐴 the turbo hero?" Ida, to think you will figure it out such ease. Yes. He is my elder brother and I upto him with great respect. Izuku, I see. Uraraka, hey Izuku, it is so good to see you again. Izuku, Uraraka-san. It also good to see you here. Ida, you are the gravity girl who was helped by Izuku Midoriya. I have a lot of question to ask, but you know about each other before the exam. Uraraka, no, it just after that stunt we seem to remember about each other. Not much of a big deal. Izuku, you ready for your first day? Izuku, who am I to say that? Right, Aizawa-sensei. Everyone then looked where Izuku was looking and they are somewhat scared except for him and Uraraka. Uraraka, it's been a while, Aizawa-sensei. Aizawa, took you all about 8 seconds to calm down. Also good to see you both again. Time for your quirk apprehension test. Wear your PE clothes and come to the ground. Class 1B is also joining there. Mina, wait, what about the orientation? Aizawa, we don't have time to waste. Especially you Midoriya. Your quirk needs lots of training and trial and error for working. Now let's get ready. With that they prepared for their test. Yet it bugged them why their sensei is giving Midoriya special attention. Even Katsuki can see this bland favoritism. What is it in Deku that he doesn't have? When all of them done they saw that Class 1B are also present there. They were present with their homeroom teacher as he spoke to them. Kin, it seems they are here. You guys are on the right time. Good to see you, Izuku Midoriya. I hope you didn't have trouble in your class. Izuku, not yet, Kin-sensei, and I am glad to see you again. Ken, yeah, I am looking forward of how you will surprise us again. Am I right, Uraraka Ochako? Ochako, Kin-sensei is right, Izuku. You are the strongest in our entire class right now. Meanwhile with Class B, Monoma, why is Kin-sensei acting so friendly with those two from Class 1A? Setsuna, maybe he know about them from before. Shishida, I don't understand why we are here. We are supposed to be attending an orientation ceremony. Jizo, guys, it can't be that bad. It is just first day of our school. So let's see what will happen. Itsuka, who was alone from the rest of the group, was thinking how she only have such a poor quirk. Just increasing the size of the fist. She thought in the past that she might be able to grow her entire body, but it never happened. But she worked hard and eventually entered in UA. Class 1A and 1B were a bit trembled when Aizawa suddenly called Bakugo for the ball throw. He asked what his record was in junior high and told him to do it with his quirk. While it showed the score 705. Everyone was shocked besides Midoriya and teachers. Aizawa, as you can see, all you have different powers, so the output of the result will be different and cannot be equal. In UA you have to give it your all if you want to stay in this school. Though it was supposed to be the same all years. But this year we have a single student whose quirk cannot be evaluated as an individual. Because of the nature of his quirk and his unique circumstances, he won't be evaluated on the same level you lots. Kaminari, this seems like a good place to test our quirk. Monoma, interesting method for evaluation. Mina, it seems like fun. Siro, we can go all out. It is kind of fun, I guess. Aizawa, interesting, fun, I see. If it looks fun to you, then besides Izuku Midoriya, if any of Class 1A, anyone who came last will be expelled from the school. While Class 1B was shocked from Class 1A homeroom teacher, students from Class 1A were losing their motivation. Kirishima, no way. Are you allowed to do it? Mina, it is not fair. Kin, so are the natural disaster, earthquake, villain attack and death by them. This school is not your fun ground. If you want to be future heroes, then give it your all and try not to come last. Same can be said for Class 1B. I am not removing any of you for coming last, but I can expect that everyone single one have to give their all in order to stay in my class. Bakugo, why is Deku exempted from the expulsion? He is a thing quirkless, for God's sake. Aizawa, 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘, I don't know what kind of ego has been fed to you in your previous schools, but let me tell you one thing. All the UA staff is aware of your backgrounds. We are aware of all your deeds and misdeeds you did in your junior high school. And when I say everything, I mean everything. 𝗓𝗓𝗧𝗟𝗘, your name was. We did a background check on your records and you were on a thin line, but because of Principal 𝗧𝗓𝗧𝗟 order you are allowed in this academy, otherwise there is no way I would have accepted you as a student in this academy. 𝗧𝗏𝗧, you think we don't know that 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 thought he was a quirkless? I will tell you here and each and every one of you now. We are aware of how he decided to take the UA entrance exam quirkless. But because of that exam, Midoriya was able to awake his unique but powerful quirk. If Midoriya didn't have the quirk, then he would have been evaluated on the same level as you guys, but because of his quirk things have become complicated. That is why he is given exception in this test. If students of class 1A and 1B can notice, there are two students who seems well aware of why he is given this privilege. Uraraka, it will be a waste if he is evaluated on the same level as us. There is no way Izuku Quirk can be evaluated on the same standards as ours. Ida, I cannot see the issue here since his quirk is not a normal one. I believe UA has given this privilege to a single student who once attended this academy and later become the #1 hero of the Japan. Seems you are well aware of UA. Yes, besides All Might there is one more student who received this privilege and his name is Mirio Togata from 3rd year of UA Big -3 who also work as an intern in Night Eye Agency. Aizawa, only those who we believe have the potential to reach the top level hero are given this privilege. It doesn't matter if they have weak quirk or a strong quirk. If we believe that you have the potential to reach the top, you will be given the same privilege as Izuku Midoriya is receiving now. Normally, we find those students once we do the quirk apprehension test, but the quirk we witnessed. Izuku Midoriya used in UA entrance is powerful and have a lot of untapped potential. So if you want the same treatment, then prove that you are worth it. With that evaluation test begin. Class 1A was supervised by Aizawa and 1B was supervised by Kansas. While Class 1A and 1B was going all out thinking why Midoriya is given such a privilege to Midoriya while every single test proved that he is nothing but quirkless. Minoma, Yororozu, Katsuki were somewhat angry about Midoriya. Meanwhile, Shoto cannot comprehend why this weak boy who is nothing special was being given such a leeway in this test. Every single test took place. Midoriya seems to average and somewhat more than a quirkless should be capable of. Thanks to his training in acrobatics and shield throwing, he was giving his best in every single test. When everyone from both class are evaluated. From class 1A Momo came first in evaluation test and Midoriya came 19 in this test. Mineta came 20th in the test. Meanwhile, everyone same in the canon. And for class 1B it was Shishida who came #1 and in the test somehow it was Komori who came last in quirk assessment test. However, since they were told that they are not going to be expelled in this test, they breathed a sigh of relief. It was then Mineta started to panic. He was scared that he will be expelled from the exam. Aizawa, as you guys can see, these are your result. As for expulsion, I was lying. Giving them his scary smile. It was a rational deception to bring out your best. At that, Ida and Uraraka lost their color of faces. Mineta was relieved and Momo scolded them that it was that easy to see through their sensei. Both class 1A and 1B who was not smart thought we didn't even realize it. Aizawa, Midoriya, since I now have a baseline of where you are on your own. This time show us where you stand with your quirk. Itsuka Kendo, come forward. Kendo, yes sir. Now that I have seen, you seem you have doubt about your quirk, right? Itsuka, I know sir, but there is nothing I can do about it. I have decided that I will make it powerful enough to become a hero. I never said you cannot become a hero with your quirk. You see, I called you for a different reason. I want you to join this session since I want Midoriya to use his quirk on you. Kendo, use his quirk on me. But, Aizawa, Itsuka Kendo. I know it may seem weird to you, but that is how his power works. You may not believe in him but have faith in us as teachers. We know what we are requesting. It is safe. But once the session will be over, I promise you won't regret it your whole life. As it seems there is one girl in my class who has done it, and let me tell you. She didn't regret it at all. In fact, if given the choice right, she will do it without any hesitation. Izuku, trust in me. You will not regret it, Kendo-san. Itsuka, okay, I am putting my faith in you. Izuku put forward his right hand, and Itsuka, who seemed to realize what he is requesting, put forward her right hand, and then Izuku thought about that moment. Izuku glowed in light green light and Itsuka started glowing in light orange light, and both started to break into light particles and started gathering into forming a single female. When the light died down, there stood a girl who has longer hair with a single ponytail style. Her hair color were in heteromorphical for green in left side and orange for their right side. Her eyes glinted in green similar to Izuku, but her retina/pupils were light green of Itsuka color. Her face resembled of Itsuka with Izuku freckles, and their PE suit looked much more dark and thick in color. It seemed like she has combined her hair in their clothing, because fabrics to a certain extent were showing hair color similar to their hairstyle in the clothing. When Fusion appeared in front of everyone, both the class was shocked to the core. They have never seen anything like that in their entire life. Momo, Minoma, Katsuki, and Shoto cannot believe what they were seeing. It was just for the rest of the class except for Ochako and Ida, who somewhat understood from what had happened in the entrance exam. When Fusion looked at her hand, she realized that she had more muscle mass and strength than Izuku and Kendo themselves. Fusion. Wow, it seems like Izuku is capable of fusing with people. Feels like I am reborn as a new person. But how do I look like? Izuchako looked more like Ochako, gaining few features of Izuku. I wish there is a mirror where I can see how I look like. Without her notice, Ken took a photo of her and then showed it to her. Ken, this is how you look young, Fusion. Fusion, not bad. I like freckles too. They resemble the reason why I exist in the first place. Don't you think, Izuku? Aizawa, have you thought on a name for yourself, Fusion? Fusion. I am Itsuka Kendo and Izuku Midoriya Fusion. But I have to think of a name which represent both feminine and Izuku and Kendo similarity in the same time. What should it be? Kensuga. It sounds similar to Izuchako and represents a boy name. Mizutsuka, not too bland, just the reverse of their family name. I guess Izuku plus Itsuka Izuka. Yeah, Izuka will be my name. You better remember it, Izuku, Itsuka. Giving herself a cheeky smile while looked really cute to the boys who are admiring her beauty, such as 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐬𝐷, Kaibara, Kaminari, Hanta, and Mineta. Aizawa, you remember his memories, Izuka? Izuka, yeah, it's alright, I believe she won't tell anyone. She understands what is important and what needs to be prioritized. It is kinda sad, even she didn't expect it that. Ken, you can understand what they are feeling. Izuku, more like an intuition, Ken sensei. Since they both are present in me, I can somewhat comprehend what they feel. Aizawa, since you have Midoriya memories, you know what Midoriya quirk is capable of. Give it a run. Izuku, hi. Let's see, I wish I can do this now. And with a sudden burst, she grew her entire body and now equal to 1-story building height along with equal body proportion. It should be noted that her PE cloth grew along with her body. Everyone in class seemed to grow terrified at such height growth. They all thought that she can only grew her fist, but what is with her now? What is with this quirk? Izuka, sweet. Seems like I can size shift similar to Mount Lady. Maybe I grew even more, and she thought of her growth, and to everyone's shock she grew taller similar to a certain giant girl they remember as MT Lady. While she was growing, Aizawa and Ken was noticing her height growth, and to their surprise she is now 70 feet taller in their device. Aizawa, great, she is a troublesome fusion problem girl. Ken, look at this, Aizawa, she is 70 feet now. She surpassed you, quirk, with such ease. Aizawa, it seems more versatile than you. Since she can control her growth. That is one advantage you never. It seems her clothes are not torn apart either. It seems Midoriya Fusion Quirk is even more complicated than I thought. Ken took the mic/loudspeaker and spoke it so his voice can be heard loud and clear. Young Izuka, please return to your normal size. Izuka understood and returned back to her normal size. Everyone in the class was gawking at her. They cannot comprehend what is actually happening. Here they all thought that they stood out in their quirk apprehension test at one point or another. But Midoriya quirk is incomprehensible. What is this quirk Midoriya possess, they all thought. Izuku, who returned to her normal size and stood before both the sensei. They looked at her amazed with quirk mutation. Aizawa. Izuku, this time only grow a part of your body for say only. Your hand. Izuku nodded and thought of growing only her hand, and to her surprise she was capable of doing it. At certain point when she realized that she reached the limit, she revert back her hands to normal size. Is there any problem, Izuku? Izuku, Aizawa-sensei and Ken-sensei, it seems there is a limit of extension I can grow my body at particular size. Well, it's not like I don't want to know which limit at which size, but I think I will end up damaging the school if I were to do it now. Sorry if it explains. Aizawa, it's fine. Compared to Kendo Big Fist Quirk, it is a big leap. Izuku Fusion Quirk plus Kendo Big Fist has formed a quirk mutation of size shifter for you. A quirk which allows you change your body size at your will. Compared to MT Lady Gigantification, your size shifting is more versatile in by the way your maximum height which is recorded is 70 feet. Just one question. Were you by any chance able to grow more than 70 feet? Izuku, no, at that point I tried but was not able to grow more than that no matter how much I thought. But it was nice. Izuku always wished that one day she can grow her body along with her big fist. At least that wish she had at the shrine is finally answered. Thank you, Izuku. As Izuku, I am really enjoying this feeling. Ken, Aizawa, I believe we have done enough for Midoriya Quirk Apprehension Test. Izuku, I know you won't stay much as time limit is almost reaching because of your previous quirk apprehension as individuals. I just want to say that from now onwards, you are also a UA student. Izuku, sensei, can I ask this just one question before I go? You can Izuku. Izuku, while it may seem like Izuku is useless on his own, which I as Izuku do not believe. I can see so many people here thinking here that this is unfair to us. That kind of cheap power is not going to make Izuku a hero at all. What can he do on his own? I know Itsuka, Ochako and Ida don't think it that way, but I believe Izuku is unable to comprehend this feeling in his heart. Both teachers looked at each other and realized the problem Fusion is asking, feeling the emotions because of what Izuku Midoriya is feeling from other student looks. Aizawa. Izuku, I am going to answer, but to only Izuku Midoriya. I want to clear one thing to everyone present here. But I want to test something on you. Izuku, I understand, you want to check whether your power works on me or not. If somehow Izuku ended up performing a fusion forcefully with you be able to prevent that situation or not. Aizawa, right on the bat. I am sorry Izuku, but this is a countermeasure not only from villains but also from the fame-seeking vulture heroes who can use their authority to exploit his fusion quirk. Izuku, I understand. Ochako, Ida, maybe I can have a proper conversation with you guys next time. Ida, I will be waiting for that day Izuku. Ochako, Izuku, we will talk about things you like as a girl. Next time for sure. Izuku, Aizawa-sensei, I am ready. With that, Aizawa activated his quirk, and to everyone's surprise the fusion began to glow in light and began to break apart in light particles, separately forming two people, and when the light died down, Izuku and Itsuka were present there. Izuku, who was breathing his hands on his knees while Itsuka looking at her, didn't notice the look she was receiving from others, but her focus shifted on Izuku. The same boy who made it possible. She remember everything she did as Izuku. She also remember Izuku memories. How he was bullied and the said bully was attending the same class as him. How even All Might the hero even she admired broke his hope that he cannot become a hero. The same hero never looked back at him. How he trained as quirkless and then finally awakened his quirk and aced the entrance exam. She was in tears as she moved toward Izuku and asked, did that really happen? Did he really spoke such words without thinking anything how you would feel? Izuku, I think you should not talk about it Itsuka. There are some things better not known to others. Itsuka, but is not fair Izuku. I feel like he said those words to me. Your memories, I remember everything happened to you. How did you bear with it all this time? Who are they to decide that you are not worth anything? And Aizawa-sensei, Ken-sensei, while pointing her finger at Bakugo. Why is he even allowed to enter in this academy? Everyone in the student crowd become shocked at seeing such attitude in the girl who was so calm while taking her apprehension test. Bakugo was shocked too. Why the heck she is pointing her finger at him with such rage? What happened to her? Izuku, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐽, calm down. Calm down. For my sake, please calm down your anger. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐽 complied knowing he is requesting it. Izuku said, I know, this is a side effect of my quirk. Memory sharing. I am working how to prevent it. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐽, what you saw has nothing to do with you. It is my problem and I have to face it one day. You cannot divulge in my pain and regrets that I felt all this time. You have a dream on you to fulfill. You promised yourself that you will become a pro hero with your martial arts. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐽, but that doesn't mean I can ignore what I have seen today. You have a powerful quirk. You even made my wish come true for growing my body along with my quirk. Yet I cannot ignore all the pain you have suffered till this point. Izuku, Ochako remembers about my past too, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐽. She asked me the same thing too. But if you have seen my memories, then you must remember what I said to her. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐽, you cannot focus on me. This is the burden I have to bear, just like you have to bear your own problem. No matter what happens, you must stick to your goal and prove everyone who wronged you. To prove that even I have what it makes me hero. Izuku, then please focus on your goal. That is what important to you right now. And please keep those memories a secret within your heart. I for once do not want to make situation problematic than it already is. Aizawa, Midoriya, you all right? Izuku, I am fine. I need to figure out a way to sort out the drawback of my quirk. I cannot tell everyone about what had happened to me, especially a particular memory. Aizawa, it's fine. We are asking a pro hero who deals in mind-related quirk. We might able to get her help very soon. Till then you need to keep your fusion between Uraraka and Kendo only. And it's about time I answer the question you asked me as Izuku. Can bring them here. I need to make it clear to everyone. Can everyone gather in line? We are going to have a bit of a discussion here. As students started gathering, some were thinking how unfair that quirk like Kirishima, Tetsutestu, Fumikage, Tsuyu, Momo, Nairenjiki, Sen, Monoma, Juzo, Shishida and almost all the girls from Class 1B realized how powerful nature of quirk Izuku Midoriya possess. Kirishima, Tetsuetsu, Sen and Sen thought and believed what manly quirk it is. Others realized what actual potential that fusion quirk possess. Why their teacher give him such exception, because they realized that his potential is unlimited. But some were jealous who were a bit of perverts such as Kaminari, Mineta, Hanta and Kozai. But among them two were angry for different reason. Katsuki for thinking that Deku was keeping this power hidden from him all this time, like he was looking down on him. With one look he realized the potential of the fusion quirk. He wanted answers from him. Why didn't he even tell him? He could have told him, so he would have thought of improving that for himself. But Shoto looked at him with anger. He was thinking that, just like his father, he is using girls to improve his quirk. Like his father who was useless on his own, who in the end created him, he knowing how useless he is on his own is abusing those girls and creating fusion to fulfill his goal. He wanted to beat this guy because he reminded him so much of Endeavor. Aizawa, since you all have seen each other quirk during this test, I don't need to explain much about it. But I guess it's time I tell you all about Midoriya quirk, which he discovered during the entrance exam. Izuku Midoriya, quirk is fusion. Just like the name said, Midoriya is capable of fusing with people. And the said fusion gender will be depending on whom he is fusing with. If fusion partner is male, then it will be male fusion, and if it is a female partner, then it will be a female fusion. Any questions? Momo raised her hand. Aizawa, what is your question, Yororozu? Momo, till now you have explained about the fusion aspect. But there is something about Midoriya fusion quirk which seemed out of order. The fusion we saw today didn't use 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐽 big hand, but something different such as gigantification like MT Lady. Ken, you are wrong. What happened when fusion is formed? Whose quirk the fusion will possess? We have realized that fusion quirk is quirk mutation of the fusion partner. This makes fusion quirk completely different from both individuals he is born with. Aizawa, a quirk mutation is power that only fusion can possess. It is more like evolved form of fusion partner quirk. For example, Uraraka, who fused with him during the entrance exam and formed Izuchako, did not have zero gravity, but her quirk mutation was gravity manipulation. As zero gravity is impossible to mutate at all, So quirk mutation of the fusion evolved her quirk principles from zero gravity to gravity manipulation. Everything 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐽 touches follows the gravity of Earth and follows her command. She has a slight telekinetic control over her touched object and can increase the gravity of object as she desired. Same can said for Izuku who you saw fuse today. Kendo quirk Big Fist only enlarges her fist, but as Izuku, the quirk mutation of her fusion is size shifter. Evolved form of Big Fist but for her entire body. Izuku can change any part of her body at any size, and she can even enlarge herself similar to MT Lady. But Izuku has surpassed MT Lady in terms of height. Izuku maximum height record is 70 feet. 7 feet more than Mount Lady. Kendo, Midoriya, you can be proud of your fusion. So you think Midoriya has a powerful quirk? Mineta, Hanta, Tagaru and some other were saying that it is a very powerful and unfair quirk to him. Aizawa, you are wrong. I admit that Midoriya quirk is a dreamlike to anyone who wishes this kind of. It comes with a disadvantages, memory sharing, pain sharing and risk of personality inheriting trait. Moreover, the time limit is just 1 hour if both partner are in healthy condition, otherwise fusion time will deplete. You want to see what happened to him because of not knowing the drawback of his quirk. See at the screen. At that screen they saw what actually happened at the entrance exam. Ochako who was injured. Midoriya who saved and awakened his quirk while saving her and becoming 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐽. And once she destroyed the zero pointer and when fusion was diffused with her injury and exhaustion. Fusion breaking apart and Izuku taking injury, vomiting from Ochako quirk drawback and losing his consciousness at that point. What you witness is the drawback of his quirk. Uraraka and Midoriya both were unaware what will happen to them if they diffuse in such terrible condition, and since Uraraka who was not aware ended up passing all the fusion injury and exhaustion and drawback of her quirk on Izuku Midoriya. And take today example Izuku split apart and Kendo remembering Midoriya past memory like it was her own memory. She ended up feeling angry for the bullying done to him. People deciding his future on their own. Heroes telling him that he do not deserve to be a hero. She felt like all those things were done to her. Uraraka had the same problem, but thanks to Midnight and 13 she is able to overcome those memories. And we believe that both Uraraka and Kendo had inherited his personality trait. So tell me, now who want to think that I wish I was born with this quirk? Not a single one of them raised their could they after seeing such dangerous side effects of such powerful quirk. Aizawa, I as a teacher only want to say this to everyone present here. If you think that it is unfair that he is born with such a quirk, then same can be said about you. For a person who is not born with a quirk must not allowed to become a hero. I am sorry to say, but I do not believe in that principle and motto. At that all the students' eyes perked up, especially Katsuki. He who was always told by teachers and always believed that quirk is the deciding factor for becoming a hero. He wanted to know why his sensei didn't believe in that motto. Aizawa, I for once do not want to teach to a spoiled brat who thinks that because his quirk is powerful and was praised his entire life. He is nothing more than an arrogant villain who thinks power is key factor of becoming a no-one hero. And because of that idiot all might the notion that powerful quirk users should become heroes had started to spread too much, especially among you. Do you think I look in the exams you guys the recommended students? Urorozu, Todoroki, why do you think I choose you in this class? Momo, because we have powerful but more versatile quirk. And because our family had influenced the school to took us because they believe we can be better hero. Aizawa, wrong. You two were never my first choice in this recommendation list. The one I wanted, decided not to join UA Academy because of some emotional reason. And I believe it was your attitude which helped him to make his mind Shoto Todoroki. Shoto was confused at that. What had he done that to someone they decided not to join the academy? Did he do something wrong? Yororozu was shocked that she was not in the first choice of the recommended students. In panic she asked, if Todoroki-san and I was not the first choice in the recommendation of Class 1A, then who were? Aizawa, Yurashi Inasa and Psycho Intelli. 𝗧𝗘, who was an intelligent girl with an intelligent quirk, was forced to withdraw because of your family influence, and Yurashi said to me that he do not want be in the same school along with the BSRDs who think so highly of themselves, as he want to be with those people who respect each other without looking down on each other. Because of your family influence, Yororozu, that girl had a hard time, so 𝗧𝗜𝐬𝐴 helped her to join girls-only school. Because of her IQ, she was promoted to second year in that academy. I should also tell you that 𝗧𝗜𝐬𝐴 wanted to take 𝗧𝗘 under his tutelage because how intelligent she was, and now it is all going to waste because she will never learn how to use her intelligence at full potential. At that, she hates your family the most, as you were the reason she was not given the privilege to join UA Academy. All the students were shocked at that announcement. To think that rich family influence can be so powerful. They thought that only they had the competition to join UA, but it seems even in recommendation, there are students whose dreams were crushed with the money and influence just because they some want to see their children in the best academy. Aizawa, I choose you because you both were problem children who thought very highly of yourself, because of the quirk you possess. And I choose Bakugo because he is also a problem child, apparently with attitude of high might and quirk superiority problem, and I choose Ida because of your DSPLN conduct but rigid thinking problem. Rest of from class 1A, you take a good look at each other and tell me, besides these four, do any of you have the confidence to say that you have a powerful quirk without any drawback? Even if you don't have a drawback, there is a limit of how much you can use your quirk. Everyone in class 1A looked at the remaining member and they all realized that what their sensei said is true. None of them had a quirk which doesn't have a drawback, and the quirks, they were not that powerful. Even Tokoyami and Hagakure knew the weakness of their quirk. Aizawa, Midoriya, besides these four, take a good look at class 1B. What do you see? Izuku, there are students with powerful nature of quirks. They are categorized in four: power, technique, skill-based, and mutation-based. Limitations aside, they all are students who can easily be considered class 1A students if quirk was the only deciding factor in their selection. The four students you told us about, Aizawa-sensei. Class 1A and 1B was shocked to hear that coming from Midoriya. How can that be? Is he telling the truth, they wanted to ask. Ken, who was also amazed about Aizawa's selection methods, started to look at him with great respect as a teacher. He chose only those students who had personality and attitude problem. Students with lot of limitation and student dealing with confident issue about their quirk. This was the reason even after the expulsion on first day, Aizawa was respected by those students who were not acknowledged by him on UAPE test. Those second and third year students had respected Aizawa all the time, but because of Aizawa policy to not deal with children, he expelled, so they do not any mental problems, they even regarded him high as a teacher. Aizawa, right of the bat again, Midoriya. Also, I didn't choose you because of your quirk, Midoriya. I was impressed with you when you were fighting quirkless with a circular shield like a frisbee weapon and with an unorthodox method to use that shield. Just one question. How many times did you practice throwing that shield like that? Midoriya, 6 hours daily with shield throwing for 10 months excluding other training exercise. Even with packed schedule, I practiced not to get sloppy and used to clean the public beach of Daboga. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to clear the entire beach. Ken, so you were the one who was responsible for cleaning that dump yard of beach. And Public Service Committee had the gall to say that they were cleaning that beach, but because of lack of manpower they were not able to complete the cleaning. Izuku didn't care about the goal was to enter in UA Academy and prove myself that even I am quirkless. I have a worth as a hero. But never expected that on exam I will awaken my quirk. Aizawa, even that is the case. As you can see, I choose only problem children in my class who are either proud, arrogant and think highly quirk, or those who have less self-esteem as a hero. I am also open to those who are quirkless. Not because you are anything special. It could have been class 1B students who would have been in my class if I did not consider about your written portion of the test, but I don't believe what your record says, and what you think of yourself about the quirks you possess. What I seek whether you are worth teaching what is needed for heroics. That is reason I took this test, and as far as I can see, each and every one of you have potential to become a pro hero. Even if the few of you have some attitude problem. Ken, however, with potential alone you are not guaranteed to be a hero. That is why UA uses unorthodox method to teach you. But we have a trouble because Midoriya quirk evaluation method does not exist in our point scoring system, but principal believes that if we were to evaluate Midoriya on the same ground and did not accept him, other schools will just exploit his quirk and his potential will remain in lower level. Aizawa, that is the reason all the teaching staff of UA Academy accepted this fact and agreed that Midoriya will be given the special privilege just like All Might and 𝐒𝐿𝐼𝐴 aka Mirio Togata. Had Midoriya unlocked his quirk before and get noticed by the heroes, and I mean heroes who really help genuinely not fame-seeking heroes, he would taken Todoroki and Yorozu recommendation seat of Class 1A, which would removed one of you from my class. And one of Class 1B recommendation would have been lost because of him. At that, everyone really began to wonder what would be the scenario if that had happened. Even Katsuki understood that Deku quirk is worth equal to All Might in terms of potential power he can create with fusion. Juzo, then the reason we are taking this test together because UA is planning to make all of us Midoriya fusion partners at some point. And if I am correct, every fusion will have his unique quirk mutation, so depending on drawbacks of our own quirk, we could end up creating a powerful quirk user, but at the same time there can be a risk to create a fusion with powerful quirk but with a flawed quirk mutation. Aizawa. That is right, will be fusion training session only for Midoriya after school will be over. This is the exact reason you all will be training with Midoriya at one point or another. I will say it once again. If you think that Midoriya quirk is unfair, then the same can said about you. Your quirks have limitations just like his. I don't care if you don't wish to partner up with him and take responsibility for the fusion quirk drawback, we won't force you, but that would be your loss. If you have no longing to participate, then there are second and third year students who will welcome him with open arms in their training session. Ochako, sensei, I am ready to join in this fusion training session with Izuku. I want to see where our fusion Izuchako can go with this training. Itsuka, me too. There is no way I will not join this session. It's true that I can never outshine Izuku, but I have to see what new heights our fusion Izuka is capable to reach. Ida, I would also like to participate. My brother always say strength lies in teamwork, and Midoriya-kun is perfect example of that. I would like to see what kind of fusion we will make. Minoma, me too. I want to see whether you worthy to use me as your fusion partner. Izuku, you can copy quirks of others. Is it possible for you to copy my quirk and see what it can do for you? Minoma, you want me to use my copy on you. But Izuku, why not? It is great quirk with lot of hero potential. Would be a waste if you didn't use it now. Want to try? Minoma, you are a weird one, you know that Midoriya. Don't make sullen face when I copy you and do the same. While teachers wanted to see what will happen, all the class begin to murmur whether Minoma will be able to do the same as Izuku. They were even thinking how lucky Minoma is for have such a copy quirk. When Minoma touched Izuku and copied Izuku, he called to Tetsutetsu to test the copy, however nothing happened at all. Minoma, I see. So your quirk is a blank to Midoriya. Izuku, blank. Is there any problem with my quirk for you to copy? Minoma, not in that sense. What my quirk do is copy the principle/property nature of the quirk. However, my quirk cannot replicate if the said quirk is of stockpiling nature or energy converging nature. From what I can understand, your quirk once activated it converts your and your partner physical body into light energy and combines it together again in a physical body, and due to this a fusion is born. And another property of your quirk is stockpiling of both your and your partner energy in the fusion body. Your fusion exists because both you and your partner consciousness and energy present inside it. And I believe this is the reason you and your partner feel like they did what the fusion did but at the same time did not do what fusion did. Once this energy runs out, you and your partner separate, as your quirk has a safety feature just like a UPS for computers which allows system to shut down properly. Your quirk safety feature allows you and your partner to return back to separate individual just before the state you and your partner begin to transform into light particles, and because of energy conversion process along with transferring all injury and exhaustion depending who is willing to take how much damage with both. Individual thought process. Your quirk had a lot of complicated features which I cannot understand myself. It is like a program with complicated coding and algorithms. Izuku, so you cannot do the same what I did. Minoma, this is your unique factor. It's true I have copied your quirk, but my body cannot process the features which is possessed by your. I said, I cannot copy the quirk which have stockpiling or energy conversion features. I often get these blanks. Well, it's not like I already have an idea it might not work, but still it is a unique quirk which belongs to you. But I want to see what our fusion can do in the future. Izuku, yeah, I would like it. Mina, I want to join too. Kaminari, me too. I want to see what will be our fusion. Kirishima, I am in too. Count me in. I want to see what your fusion stuff can do with me as your partner. Komori, I want to see what kind of shrooms we will make with your power. Tetsudatsu, I won't be a man if I didn't help you, right? Sen, this will be an adventure. I am usually one-on-one fighting, but I want to know where we will go as a fusion. Yui, I would like it too. Tokoyami, let's meet in the end of Abyss together and become the ultimate warrior of darkness. And so many more agreed that they would like join in this fusion training session. Even Katsuki thought that he would want to see the fusion between him and Deku. Katsuki knew he would be a badass. But one did not agree and he hated the idea itself. He was Shoto Todoroki. He cannot accept Izuku Midoriya as a student of his same caliber because he believed that he is a weak and this school is just wasting their time on Midoriya. Midoriya will become just like his father. And at the end, they will realize that they were wrong, but at that time Shoto didn't realize that in the near future he along with Midoriya, Katsuki, Ida, Kirishima and Fumikage will become the part of Elite 6 of Class 1A from boys in the near future. With all this, the teachers informed them about their new rules which was exclusively for them because Ken will be in charge of this fusion training session and meanwhile training Izuku to develop more physically so he can inherit the All Might power quirk. Ken knew with that quirk Midoriya will overcome his physical weakness and will become a force that should not be reckoned with. Just like Mirio and All Might. He knew the boy hated All Might but they cannot risk his quirk to be stolen by that villain. With that they packed up and was told that they can leave early today because classes will begin from kept these thought to himself. While few students were shocked by the revelation, some were excited to see their new classes, specifically Hero Course and Fusion Training Session. They want to see what kind of training they have to go as a fusion partners. This year was getting exciting as Midoriya was about to leave. He was joined by 3 people: Ida, Uraraka and Kendo. They all talked about him and introduced themselves. When Ida asked why Bakugo was calling him Deku all this time, the answer came from the Uraraka that it is named to bully him, and Kendo said that Deku can also mean a person who can give it his all. Uraraka said to Kendo that she was supposed to say it, not her. But seeing such honest expressions on them made his face flushed, and Izuku said, I am Deku. While Ida was chastising him for being easy to accept this name, Midoriya can only say that this is like a copper revolution. And he went together with their friends as long as destination allowed them. He was grateful that he can now call them his true friends. With these thoughts he leave the school. Meanwhile, Tashinori, who was looking at him with a sad smile, thought, you don't have a time to waste, young Midoriya. I will make sure to make things right and I will apologize to what I said to you that day. You possess the quality of a hero. I will say it to you that even without your quirk you are a hero. Young Midoriya, I am sorry for putting this burden on you. While Izuku was leaving for his home after his first day, All Might was looking sadly out of the window. With that he decided to join the teacher who he had revealed about One for All. And much to his surprise he was called to Principal 𝗫𝐬𝐻's office. When he entered he was not surprised to see Ectoplasm, 13, Nemuri, Ken, Aizawa and Recovery Girl there present. While many other teachers to them except Recovery Girl asked what is this about, they said that it is something Principal 𝗫𝐬𝐻 decided, so they have no idea. 𝗫𝐻, I believe everything went well with quirk assessment test. Ken, Aizawa, what is the report of class and specially Izuku Midoriya? Aizawa, everything is fine 𝗫𝐻 principal. It turns out that they have the potential to stay, so I didn't expel anyone this time. Though I made it clear to recommendation students that they were not my first choice, so it might came as a shock to all of them. Still, it doesn't change the fact that even they have the potential. Ken, my class also showed a good potential. Though I hate to break the rules and leave the orientation session of my class. I know it was necessary because we have an exception this time. 𝗫𝐻, hi Izuku Midoriya quirk put him in such disadvantage, so it can't be helped. Have you gathered his capabilities as an individual? What about his second fusion? I want you to elaborate the details, please. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐻. Izuku Quirk, in terms of individual capabilities, he was just an average sportsman. Since he trained himself for the 10 months, I can see why he is well developed, unlike the most who lacks a proper physical fitness. As it turns out, he was the one responsible to clean half of the 𝗧𝗬𝗧𝗟𝗘 beach all by himself just in order to train his body. He cannot complete it fully because of his shield-throwing training. Toshinori, what the selfless action. A quality of a true hero. It is such a shame that his work credit has been taken by Public Service Committee. It seems that way. But he didn't care about that since his goal was to enter in UA. It seemed like the rest of the student can learn something from him. But my concern lies for his fusion gender and the analysis we received about his quirk from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Ectoplasm, what is the analysis of his quirk? How come he reached it so early? 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is one of the students of my class who has the quirk to copy other person quirk. However, what his quirk actually copy is the properties of the quirk, and he cannot replicate a quirk if that quirk has stockpiling and energy conversion feature in their quirk. From what he copied, he came to realize Midoriya possess both the quirk aspect which he is unable to copy. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐻. His analysis said that Midoriya quirk acts like an on and off switch of a computer. Once Midoriya activates his quirk, he converts himself and his partner physical body in light energy, and then when the energy combine themselves into a single body that results in fusion. Because of stockpile aspect of his quirk, the said fusion has its own set amount of energy which he gathers from both the fusion partners. It is noted he said that the consciousness of both individual is present in that energy, thus creating a fusion who has a mind of his own since she is born the consciousness of two people. Depending on the mental attitude of the fusion partner, fusion can be kind, cheerful, or even arrogant in nature. Once the energy runs out, fusion separate into their former state, and depending on the mental willingness, fusion partner can share the damage taken by the fusion among them with their memories. Also, there is a risk of picking up individual personality trait once they become separate. It is also noted that Midoriya fusion quirk has a safety feature in it, so when diffusion takes place, there is no organ or body parts loss or misplacement among fusion partners. According to my observation, Midoriya quirk has a function of cloth hair adding feature because when his fusion with Kendo took place and Izuku came, there was a slight change in their uniform I notice. Uniform had hair color of the fusion, and when Izuku used her mutation quirk size shifter and grew similar to Empty Lady, her uniform didn't get torn apart, unlike you who broke her uniform and become naked in her training test when she attended here. Just like Monoma suggested, his quirk is like a program with complex coding and algorithms of a computer. Nedzu, then it is good thing we have him in our school. But from this observation it seems like Midoriya cannot use his quirk as an extension of his body, but the fusion can. That brings the topic of serious issue. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐻, you think Midoriya can inherit one for all? 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐻, he is smart kid with good analysis. If we give him one for all, he can learn to use it as an extension of his body since he retains his memory from what fusion do with his quirk. But just like All Might said, he just need a little bit of muscle mass and he will be fine. According to my analysis, for him 20 days to workout will work with him to regain the remaining muscle mass he needs. 13. But will he agree to accept it? He do not like All Might in the first place. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐻, I don't want to admit it, but right now he is the one who needs to accept the quirk. His physical capabilities he is lacking to others can be fulfilled by the All Might power. It will also improve his capability as a fusion. Nemuri, that thing considered, how did Night Eye and Gran Torino took the news of your choice, Yagi-san? Yagi, Gran Torino and Night Eye were angry at me. They said the kid does not need my quirk. Night Eye was angry for thinking about it that I will choose Midoriya over Mirio. They said that he doesn't need the quirk since he is powerful on his own, but I don't agree with both of them. I know the risk of his quirk being stolen by him, even though they don't agree with me. I believe it should be young Midoriya who must inherit this quirk. I believe even my late emissary would also agree to choose him the next successor this sacred power. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐻, they are being irrational in their choice for choosing Mirio because they gave him the training to prepare for the successor of One for All, but in this time, ideology will not be key to open the lock. They need to be a little realistic in their choices. Ectoplasm. You cannot look out for others if you don't have enough to feed for yourself. They are blinded by 𝐒𝐿𝐴 ideology that he will save million people alone. That is hard path of life. He will came to realize soon that he cannot save everyone alone. 13. No matter what era you are born, there is one quote that haven't changed since the dawn of Quirk era. Teamwork is strength, and now we have a perfect student who resemble that truth. If he can do this much with his quirk, think about the possibilities that he can achieve with one for all at his side. He might surprise us once again with this new potential of All Might Quirk. 𝐒𝐿𝐴. Before the rescue training at USJ takes place for Class 1A, I will talk to him about this, and All Might, you are going to come with me. Since he won't be alone this time, as I am sure Uraraka and Kendo will definitely come if you are involved. All Might, I will be counting on you. Also, I have received the mail from Mandalady. I have sent it you 𝐒𝐿𝐴. Please give it to the rest to the teacher so we can keep the regarding one for all. 𝐒𝐿𝐴, and you better behave since you will be in charge of the hero course training. By the way, principal, about that shield that we took from Midoriya, and about the costume design he designed himself. Is there anyone who is willing to prepare it? All Might, about that I asked a certain friend and he has already prepared it. It will be delivered by tomorrow morning. Though it was amazing that he found that iconic shield of Captain America, the first super soldier, a hero of pre-Quirk era, and later became the greatest vigilant against the US government because of those Quirk laws which took away the freedom of Quirk-born people and the suppression that happened after because Quirked people started abusing the Quirkless people. A hero forgotten in time and later become the villain in US government. Is a good thing that America didn't want to take back the shield as they do not want to release the history of their super soldier program. Nezu, I know. From what I have read, he was good man with a good heart. Yet he ended up in such a misery. Brought as a lab experiment so he can become a soldier so that he can bring liberty in America, and he saved America from the nuclear weapon drop-down, was frozen in ice for almost 100 years and then woke in the Dawn Quirk era. His ideology clashed with the government and eventually was hunted down by the American government. It is a miracle that it was Midoriya who found that shield. If he realized that shield is worth $100 million, he will be hunted down by everyone who wants to fill their pocket with money, but as for permission to use that shield, King of Wakanda has given his consent if it is being used by him. They even paid enough vibranium as a gift to US government, so Midoriya can keep the shield without any problem. But in case, warn your class about that shield and tell Midoriya Izuku to handle that shield carefully. Midnight. Why is the King of Wakanda is willing to go that far for Izuku Midoriya? Nezu. He just wanted him to be happy and was impressed with his determination as a Quirkless to even try in UA exams. He said in his next visit, he will coming to spend some time with the Midoriya Izuku. Nezu. With that being said, I want you to pay full attention to this boy and his classmate. He will be the key factor to change the mindset of our current hero society and hero associations. Keep up with his training, and there is one change I am making regarding his fusion trainings. 13 and Nemuri, I am appointing you guys in charge for his female fusion training. Kan and 𝐒𝐿𝐴, and if necessary Ectoplasm, will be in charge of his male fusion training. Since male and female fusion will have different preferences and we might need Midoriya-san to be aware of female gender perspective so he may not feel out of place if female fusion appears. With that being said, 𝐒𝐿𝐴, Toshinori and Ken will tell Izuku and his female fusion partners about the one for all, and Toshinori do not speak unnecessary to him. It is my warning to you so he won't feel humiliated here. Got that? All teachers nodded, and Midnight and 13 were happy that they are also given a change to train the young fusions. And 𝐒𝐿𝐴 prepared for the consequences Midoriya might throw at him and All Might. With that, next day came and class went normally. But the shock happened when All Might entered in the hero course training. Everyone was excited to see All Might in his Silver Age costume as a teacher for hero course except for two. Izuku and Ochako didn't like it when he entered in class and announced himself as a teacher, and told them to take their hero costume. Izuku was just somehow tolerating All Might with all his heart, and Ochako requested Izuku to calm down. This anger didn't go unnoticed by the students of Class 1A, especially Momo, Shoto, and Katsuki. One look in Midoriya's eyes reminded them of the hatred they felt because of their own circumstances. Momo angry towards her parents for crushing someone else's chance so that she can be in class 1A of UA. Todoroki, who always hated his father for his fireside, and Katsuki remember when he felt so angry toward Deku the time he thought that Deku is looking down on him. Katsuki, who knew that Deku is All Might #1 fan, it didn't sit with him why he is so angry with All Might. Rest of the class felt it too, but they thought that maybe Midoriya do not like All Might for some reason, but this change in attitude was definitely weird for them since All Might is respected hero in the entire world. All Might knew why Midoriya looked so angry at him didn't try to make the atmosphere worse. And once they all received the call to pick their hero costume case out of 20 cases, one stood out the most. It was case No. allotted to Izuku Midoriya, and it showed a shield covering the case of his costume. Izuku looked at the shield, which was painted with a star in silver in middle with green and white stripes color around the surface on his shield. Everyone thought about the shield that it looked so nice, and Aoyama even said that it looked flashy. While others thought that it must be a support item requested by Midoriya, only Midoriya and Uraraka knew that it was the same shield they used during their entrance exam. And eventually they all came wearing their hero costume. Izuku didn't know that his costume was designed by David and Melissa Shield. Melissa, who took one look at the shield, realized that it is the most rarest and strongest metal of planet Earth. US government never purchased this metal since dawn of Quirk era, but Melissa wanted to meet the user who found this shield, and she prepared the support items for Izuku Midoriya so he call back and carry this shield at his back without putting too much pressure on his hand. While Dave also helped in making the costume, he kept the basic design. Dark green clothing with black stripes and hand gloves to support his braces and arms. Shoe long and soles Izuku requested so he can run even on the roughest surface. But David gave it a finishing touch by attaching a silver star mark at the middle of his dress. A mask to protect and act as a scuba diving breather. But for some reason they noticed that Izuku has erased the mask area around the head when David rechecked it with his software. They were hair similar to All Might. David realized that this boy was once a fan of All Might. He received a letter of All Might and was shocked to see his request. But he knew that Toshi was an idiot in sensitive topics, so he made it a removable mask like rabbit with green color, so he might not notice this change. And Melissa, she was so focused on the support item which focused on calling back the shield, attaching it with the magnetic stripes. She prepared it very well for the hand and the back of his costume, and once the costume was done, it was sent back to Japan from the Expo Island, which was still in construction. David and Melissa wanted to meet this kid, who thought he was quirkless yet tried to become a hero, and his fusion aspect of his quirk made Melissa very glad once she looked at both the female fusion. She wanted to see this boy and wanted to know about him. David, who was planning to prepare a quirk enhancer drag, realized that All Might may not need it anymore. As he looked at Melissa and the certain fusion user, he realized that just like Toshi, who appeared in the time of crisis, another hero has appeared, and one day Izuku Midoriya will make everyone forget about All Might when his strength of fusion will speak in this world. He too wanted to meet this young boy and prepared his plan to invite him in this Expo launch event. While everyone was starting to appear in their hero costume and they were looking very good as All Might praised them, but when Midoriya appeared, everyone was shocked to see him in the hero costume. He looked like a soldier with a shield on his back which was attached to a magnetic stripes present at the back of his costume. He didn't wear his rabbit mask, so his face was visible and his mouth guard protector looking very intact. He looked at his costume and his soles. Izuku, not bad for my choice of even painted the shield. What do you think, guys? Wait a minute, Ochako, your costume, doesn't that feel tight? Ochako, Deku-kun, you see, I wanted to make my suit look like 13, but it ended up body-tight suit. Kinda embarrassing. I should have properly mentioned about the details of the suit. But you look kinda ready to go. They did a good job on costume and especially on our shield. Izuku, technically I find it from a junkyard, so it's mine, but I can understand since we used the shield as a fusion in the entrance exam. What about you, Ida? It seems you request your costume from your family designer. Ida, yes. Since my brother was pleased with my results, so he gifted it to me. It kind of fits in the description, so I am ready for whatever we will do in this training. Ochako, kinda nice for you. You look like a knight in a racer suit. Ida, thank you for your kind praise. All Might, all right, now we can begin this class. And young Midoriya, we sincerely apologize for keeping this shield in UA grounds. It is very important to you, but you must know what your shield is. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽, what this shield is. Isn't this just a shield with strong metal properties? 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐦𝐚𝐫𝐲. That shield is made from a compound which had been removed from the periodic table of metals. It is the strongest and most scarce metal on our planet Earth. The shield is called vibranium, and this is a warning from the principal 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘 to the remaining student. No one must be allowed to take 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗘's shield without his consent. Otherwise there will be severe consequences. Jiro, what is so special about his shield? It is not like he found a gold bar which we will see like an eye candy. 𝗒𝐿MIGHT, that vibranium shield is more valuable than a gold. In global market of metals, just 1 gm of vibranium is $20,000. That shield total value on the basis of metal would be around $108 to $110 million. So do not even try to lose the shield, young 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘. You were really lucky when you found that treasure in a junkyard. Same for everyone, do not try to cheat and scratch the pieces of the shield just to make yourself rich. While 𝗒𝐿MIGHT was giving them the warning, 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗑's eyes were gaping fish, who suddenly realized how valuable shield he is carrying around. Ochako looked at the shield when she heard the value of the shield like a gold which was sent from heaven. Ida was undeniably stunned with the amount value of the shield. He heard stories about people finding gold and diamonds in junkyard, but this is insane. His friend just had $1 million worth of metal which he didn't even realized it. Jiro, who didn't care about the shield, just left with mouth open. Same can be said to the Yaoyorozu. She didn't believe the value of the shield. With this much amount her parents can gift her a villa. Shoto also knew that even his father also had this much money, but he didn't have any luxurious spending yet. Izuku 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘 found the treasure in a junkyard. Siro, is it just me, or do any one of you think that 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗘 is born with a devil's luck? Because I am feeling a bit of jealousy now. Kaminari, I kinda agree with that too. I wish I was born with his luck. Mineta, lucky bstrd. Not only he get along with girls, and now he is even richer than the rest of us. Momo, well, I have my 10 years worth of pocket money of $10 million. So he might be not that rich compared to my parents. Everyone, just how rich she is. 𝗒𝐿MIGHT, young 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗑, be careful to keep this shield safe with you. This is legally yours now. So, no one is going to take it away from you. All UA staff have decided that you can keep this shield. Since you originally found it, but please be careful, young 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗑. Izuku, yes sensei. 𝗒𝐿MIGHT, now we shall begin your battle training and you will be paired randomly with the picking up slots. The situation is, out of somewhere he took out a page and started reading from it. The villains have a deadly bomb implanted in the building and civilians are trapped. Villains are ready to nuke the bomb and heroes have to stop them. During this exercise, half among you will become the villains and half will be villain and will be assigned for the task, and judging at the performance of how you lot tackles the situation both as a villain and as heroes. You will be evaluated. Quirk usage are allowed, and as for teams, we will be pulling the lots. Ida, sensei, shouldn't we create a team among us? I mean, it will be better since most of us knew each other through our interactions. 𝗒𝐿MIGHT, it would be possible, but remember you are here to learn as a heroes, and sometimes you will be asked to team up with people you don't like because of their personality or either because of their attitude, but when situation calls for it they have to act neutral and act with professional code. Since you might end up teamed up with person you don't like. So, think of this in similar sense. Ida, I am sorry for jumping to the conclusions. Please continue. Izuku, I think you need to relax sometimes. Ida, you're kind of always on the edge. Deku, let's hope it will go alright. Because for once I think that you are not a good teacher material, 𝗒𝐿MIGHT. Chako, he is right in that sense, 𝗒𝐿MIGHT sensei. You don't look like a teacher at all. While everyone thought that both of them being harsh on 𝗒𝐿MIGHT, while sweating, 𝗒𝐿MIGHT realized what everyone said to him, that he lacks what need as a teacher. Even these don't believe he is qualified as a teacher. 𝗒𝐿MIGHT, and I will try to meet your expectations, kid. So let's begin this session and select your partner. And thus random selection happened. And for worse or better, team selection came in this manner. Katsuki Bakugo and Izuku 𝗧𝗧𝗟𝗑. Shoto Todoroki and 𝗲𝗏𝗧𝗏 Shoji. Yaoyorozu Momo and Minor Mineta Tenya and Ochako Uraraka. Koji Koda and Rikido Sato. Kaminari and 𝐒𝐿𝐴. Ojiro and Toru Hagakure Fumikage Tokoyami and 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐦𝐚𝐫𝐲. 9 Ijiro Kirishima and Hantashiro. Yuga Aoyama and Mina Ishido. And matches were in this sequence. First Team Heroes and versus Team was Villain. Team 1 versus Team 6 versus Team 7 versus Team 9 versus Team 8. Team 10 versus Team. It came as a shock to both Izuku and Katsuki. They downright didn't like each other for various reasons. But the challenge was even greater. Shoto Todoroki, who is number 2 hero son, and apparently he had more training in quirk combat that both Izuku and Katsuki had on their own. While Ochako didn't like this team up in the first place, she was worried that Deku will fail this test because his partner is his worst bully who has intention to team up. All Might. Alright, let the battle training begin. And with that battle training began as 5 minutes were given for preparation. During this, Shoto and Shoji took the role of villain and came with the plan. Shoto decided that he will take the lead in this battle as fighting since he told that his ice might be able to counteract against Katsuki Bakugo explosion and Midoriya is a quirkless without his fusion, so he can't anything against him, while Shoji with keen sense will guard the bomb at topmost floor. Shoji agreed to the plan that since both Midoriya and Katsuki are hostile towards each other for some reasons and there is very less change for teaming up let alone fusion, Shoji agreed with Todoroki plan. While Shoto and Shoji were making their plan, Katsuki was arguing with Izuku to not interfere in this battle as he will take both that half and half BSTRD and tentacle alone. Izuku just said that he can do whatever he want as he will work on his own. Katsuki thought that he would argue with him but nothing. Izuku just accepted it and went on other side because he was feeling irritated about this team up. Izuku wanted to fight Bakugo and prove him that he is equal and now can compete with him, yet this team up he has to work together with his bully friend. This is a complicated emotion for him. But Izuku believed that there will be no need as it will hurt Katsuki pride to team up with anyone. And when the announcement happened to begin, both started walking in different direction as they have no intention to help each other. Izuku running with his stealth skills and Katsuki by making noises of explosion. He was grinning that he will finally beat that half and tentacle while making a complete victory on his own. Meanwhile, this test was not only witnessed by the students but also by Kan and his Class 1B students, as they might not able to train together, but they compromised that they should witness Class 1A battle training so they can do better in their own training with All Might class. Many people from Class 1B such as Itsuka, Minoma, Pony and many more are watching when it was announced that Izuku match is first. Some were excited that they are going to witness a new fusion, but only Kendo realized that Izuku had a bad matchup for this training and not surprised when Izuku went in different direction instead together with Bakugo. Not only this behavior noticed by her, even Principal Nizu and Aizawa were also watching this training, and Aizawa knew that this might not work as they were planning and should have changed partners, but Nizu insisted that let it happen and see what will happen. Ida, what are they doing? They were supposed team up and work together in this. Ochako, I am not that much surprised it is happening. Bakugo has too much of an ego to ask for help, and he don't want any help from Deku-kun. Momo, that kind of attitude is not of a hero. And I expected better from Midoriya-san. He was supposed to work together and yet he is doing this alone. He knows his quirk is useless without Bakugo and he will be fighting quirkless now. Kaminari, then this match is already decided. Todoroki will win this match. Tokoyami, I'm not sure about that. Sato, what do you mean Tokoyami? Tokoyami, as long as I have observed Midoriya, he is sincere in his thinking about helping others. Otherwise he wouldn't have fused with Uraraka-san at the entrance exam. Whatever feud both Midoriya and Bakugo may have, I believe it can come to a compromise in this match and we might witness another fusion, and this time maybe an explosive one. Kirishima, I believe both of them can compromise and will win this against Todoroki, because I for once think that Todoroki hates Midoriya on a different level. It not likes jealousy but pure hatred. Like he hates Midoriya for his quirk. Ida, now that you say it, Kirishima, I also notice this. I wonder what Todoroki problem is. Sensei, can't we hear them? All Might, we can. Let's see. Yes, now we can hear it. And please pay attention. Their battle trial may help you in developing your own battle trial. As intended, Katsuki met Shoto in the down-floor alleys. He noticed that Midoriya was not with him. So he thought what Shoji said about the feud they had and will not team up in any manner. Shoto, you seem pretty confident that you can win this on your own. Katsuki, I don't need Deku help in order to win this exercise. His power is useless on his own. Shoto, that we can agree on. He is just a scumbag who uses girls in order to fulfill his dream. I believe that a BSTRD like him should not be allowed to attend in this academy. While proving my strength when I will defeat you, next will be Midoriya's turn. Katsuki, you will defeat me. Don't make me laugh. I was the strongest in my junior high school. Everyone said that my power can surpass all might, while Deku didn't awaken his quirk. I was training to become number 1 here until he won with his stupid rescue points. Deku quirk is strong, I admit that, but not for long, because I intend to make myself stronger than any of his fusion. With that, Katsuki launched himself and released the explosion, but in that instant Todoroki froze the entire building along with Katsuki in an ice case. Katsuki's hand exploded as he did have some leftover of his sweat on his palm. He exploded and propelled again while changing his direction to his right, intending to grab Todoroki for a grab his hair and throw him with his strength alone, but he was once again frozen in ice, and this time Katsuki was not able to produce any explosion. Because his gauntlets were also frozen as cannot pull the trigger. Shoto, you are strong with your quirk, I admit that, but you are not strong enough to defeat my ice. Whoever told you can surpass all might is a fool who themselves had not the potential to reach there. Because I was created to surpass all might by my father. Bakugo, you are weak compared to me, and your partner Midoriya is a coward who can only think of using other to fulfill his dream. This school is making a grave mistake by giving him that special privilege, as I can see him using more girls from other class and our class just to satisfy his dream and reach his goal, or maybe he has a FTSH for using girls to transform himself into a female. In that sense he is even worse than that Mineta, that midget who stares at the girls of our class perversely. At least he has a decency to not harass them by touching, like Midoriya, who not only perform fusion but thinks that he can do whatever with those girls. I don't like his quirk and him at all. Meanwhile, those who were able to hear that statement felt disgusted with Todoroki's narrow-mind thinking. Among that few said, Ochako, hey, that is crossing the line. Deku, do not use us. That is not how fusion works. And he is not a pervert at all, and he has no FTSH of changing his gender at all. That's just how his fusion works. Tokoyami, Todoroki is crossing the line with his narrow-mind thinking. I don't blame Midoriya for born with this power, but neither Todoroki nor anyone has the right to criticize him for how his quirk work. Mineta. He is saying it in such a logical manner. Maybe Midoriya do have some FTSH for changing. Before he can complete his sentence, he was slapped by Tsiyu with her tongue, who had a blunt face but anger can be seen in her eyes. Tsiyu, Mineta, don't judge him because of his quirk. I can understand, but I don't sense that kind of attitude in Midoriya. You don't know what it's like to be judged because of your quirk. Kirishima, dude, Todoroki is very rude to Midoriya. I wonder if he has some issue over the fusion. Even I know that compared to my simple hardening, Midoriya quirk is amazing. Ida, maybe he is being paranoid about how a hero should be. Because Endeavor is number 2 hero, he must have trained and focused on his training and strong notion of believing that a hero should be strong individually and must not rely on anyone help. And seeing Midoriya power, he strongly want to oppose it. Zero. So, Todoroki believes that if he can defeat Midoriya, then he can defeat the fusions as well. That's harsh. I don't think he will be able to do it, Momo. Whatever the reason may be, Todoroki-san is not in his right mindset now. He is forgetting the fact that Midoriya fusion is not his individual strength, and if Uraraka-san is right, and from what I have observed from Aizawa and Ken-sensei expressions, a fusion is a complete different person, otherwise Aizawa-sensei shouldn't have asked them about her fusion name. Jiro, at that statement her ear perked up. Is that true, Ochako? Are they really a completely different people? Ochako, yes, Izuku has no control of his fusion and neither do I have control. As Monoma said, a fusion has a mind of his own. Our own mind is present in fusion body. It seems like we are watching our fusion over her shoulder side like devil and angel, With our personality and mindset, Fusion decides to take every action and neither of us have any control over it. All Might. That makes complete sense about his quirk. But remember, the match is not over yet. Young Midoriya is still there. Let's see what he is going to do. All Might inner thoughts. Come on, young man. I know you have heart of a hero. Please overcome your hatred and do what you must do as a hero. Meanwhile, Class 1B had same issues as they were about what Shoto said about Izuku, but Itsuka harsh words saying that Izuku is nothing like that UB made everyone, especially Monoma, realize that they are rushing to the judgment of Izuku Midoriya. Monoma knew what it is like to be judged because of your quirk, so he watched what will Izuku do. Itsuka was worried that Izuku would rather lose this match than teaming up, but none of them knew that Katsuki words will allow him change his track of mind and compromise in this situation. Katsuki, stop talking about Deku like that, you half and half bastard. What do you know about him? He may a Deku, but he has no FTSH like that. Deku is useless who will help anyone without even looking after himself. No matter how injured he is, no matter if he is useless in that situation, he will help anyone. His attitude makes me want to puke. Self-sacrifice. Helping others knowing that you are weak and useless piece of CRP. Bullshit. Strength is everything to a hero. Those who rely on others are weak, as if they are looking down on me. I will not accept Deku way at all. I will not win with relying on his help at all. Todoroki, you cannot even break my ice. And you think you can defeat me? What a waste of time. As Todoroki turned his back and leave in order to find Midoriya when a shield came at him with full momentum. As it hit his back neck, Izuku came running forward and giving him the hit with his shield again as Shoto was rubbing his head. Because of the pain, Midoriya used that few seconds to break the ice where Katsuki was sealed and took him away with him, much to his protest. But Shoto sent an ice wave on both of them, which forced Izuku to bring forward his shield so he and Katsuki can sustain the impact of the wall, but much to his surprise they broke the wall and went to the different direction. Katsuki, leave me, Deku. I didn't ask for your help in the first place. I would rather lose than accept your help. At that, Izuku gave him the strong punch with his bare fist. And said, Izuku, don't even think about losing, you idiot. You said you will win this. That is definitely not like you. You can overcome anything if you can put your mind in it. Katsuki, you bstrd. I don't need your sympathy. I can do it even without your help. Izuku, I am not looking for sympathy, nor I am looking for your forgiveness. I am way past asking permission from you. That is why I am willing you compromise here. Your fighting skills, your tenacity and quick reaction in fighting is something I lack, and planning with best alternatives is something you lack, for which I can do for you. Todoroki has both power and thinking skills. If you want to win, I am willing to become the cane you can order around as you see it in this exercise. Just give me your hand this, and I won't ask you another time. Katsuki, I don't want my body to in control of you, Demon Deku. Izuku, Katsuki, we are running out of time. If you want to win this, you need my quirk. Besides, neither of us will any control over our fusion. He will be influenced by both of us. But in thinking, I can assure you that he will be mostly like you. One-time deal, I promise I won't ask you second time. Tell me your answer, because Todoroki is coming here. Katsuki, I can't believe I am doing this. Just one-time deal, Deku, better make it worth. Izuku, my quirk won't disappoint you. I know that. With that, Katsuki in annoyance brought forward his glove remove hand, and Izuku also brought his glove removed hand and touched Katsuki hand in handshake, and that was one moment of trust. They both glowed in their color. Katsuki in dark orange and Izuku in light green. They became the energy and light particles formed a single body of a male. The said male had the eyes green in his retina and red pupils in his eyes, which glanced like a menace. He attire has combined form of Izuku green suit covered with orange stripes on the sides and on his chest, followed forming X in orange color in front of his costume. In the middle, silver star had a glint of orange and green. Katsuki shoulder pads and Izuku metal guard had merged together, making it a metal shoulder pad over Izuku uniform white shoulder base. Katsuki leg guard have turned black, and his shoes were a mismatch of both red and orange color, with both Izuku and Katsuki metal soles merging together. His hand now had same cloth covering, just like Katsuki, following the pattern of fusion uniform. And his gauntlets are covered over Izuku's shoulder and arms support base, and color of his gauntlet metal are reflecting clearly along the border of green base with same color of green. His hairstyle color is a green with orange freckles shades present everywhere around his hair. He wore masks similar to 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 with green glints present at the sides of his red mask. Fusion. Now this is how a fusion should be made. Not like Izuchako or Izuka, but fierce like us. Let's see Izuku and Katsuki. Since Katsuki is the one who let this happen, then let's honor his effort. Katsuki plus Izuku Katsuku. A fierce explosive warrior. Let's see if that half and half 𝗧𝗟𝗘 has the chance to face us now. When the fusion was happening, everyone in the class, also the teachers, were shocked that prideful 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 will even consider teaming up with Izuku. They were thinking that Izuku and Katsuki have lost this match, but now it became difficult to predict now. Kirishima, see, I told you guys. They can work together. Look at that fusion, he seems like ready for a good battle. Kaminari, you have to be shitting me. What is with his hero costume? Where did it come from? Yaoyorozu, that is probably the part of Midoriya-san quirk. He did the same with Kendo-san in their fusion named Izuka. P uniform were a bit thicker than normal. He probably made a fusion of the both hero costume with perfect combination. I don't think even support department can create costumes for fusion of such level. It makes you think that he might really be the strongest in our class. Ida, but the battle is not over yet. This is the first time Midoriya has created a male fusion. We have to take a good look of his quirk mutation and how powerful it is compared to 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘. To Koyami, that fusion looked like a savage warrior. Arrogant maybe, but let's see if has the power to back it up. Uraraka, go for it Deku. Win this. Zero, is it just me or Uraraka and Kendo started to give Midoriya a special privilege after the fusion thing had happened? Do you think 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 would somehow become a decent in speaking once the fusion will be over? Sato, that is a million-yen question. Tsuyu, let's see what this fusion is capable of. Shoto gave him the chase when he found an unknown person standing in front of him, but one look it took he realized that this was Midoriya quirk. He was angry and asked Shoto, so, you are using 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 in order to win this battle training Midoriya? And I didn't expected that even 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 would fell so low to allow himself to be used by you. As I thought both of you are disappointment in the name of upcoming heroes. Katsuku, you have a lot of ego to say those words. With an angry tone he spoke, I am neither Izuku Midoriya nor I am Katsuki 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘. I am a hero who is born from the soul of those two. I am Katsu, fierce explosive dynamite hero. And if you think you are stronger than the rest of us, then why don't you prove us? Shoto, good choice by the way. Now by defeating you I will prove everyone that you and your fusion are nothing compared to me. As he sent another ice shockwave at him, but this time Katsuku launched his explosives he stored in his tank, and to his surprise his explosive are green in color and so much powerful that it melted most of the ice. Even Todoroki was shocked that his ice was melted with such ease. Katsuku smiled at the power he released from his cannon. It was much more than Katsuki can ever produce. Katsuku, would you look at that? Even Katsuki cannot produce this much firepower with his quirk alone. Wouldn't you agree you half and half 𝗧𝗟𝗘𝗍? Shoto, how did you melt my ice? Katsuku, I told you before. You are not strong as you think. You and Katsuki and even that Yaoyorozu may have born with powerful quirks on your own, but all of you lost it when Izuku awakened his quirk. This power, no matter how hard you try, as long as Izuku and his fusion partners will train to their maximum potential, you all will continue to lose. Sorry to break it you, but you are not the strongest student of this class anymore, neither is Katsuki nor that ponytail. Katsuki may never admit it, but this is the truth he has to accept if he want to grow up. Shoto, you have no right to speak, you fake. Your existence is also a fake. Ask yourself, do you think you are human who can live with us? No matter how hard it is, all of you fusion may came, the day will come where you will cease to exist once Midoriya stopped using others for his personal goals. Katsuku heard enough and gave Shoto enough explosive bombardments without giving him a chance to think. His power overwhelmed Todoroki to almost use his fire aspect, but as he realized it he changed again to ice, but that time lag was enough for Katsuku to give him the thud on Shoto's face with his shield, and it made her unconscious. Katsuku, we will talk later Shoto Todoroki, because I have to win this test within the remaining time. Rest well because this won't be the last you will see from me. With that, Katsuku dashed with his hop and jump technique to reach as fast as to the top floor. Instead of opening, he broke the door with his explosion. Once Shoji saw that fusion, he knew that his chances of winning has decreased, and in that moment an idea came to Katsuku's mind. He pinpointed his palm in fist position and brought it in front of his other palm and then launched his explosions, and many green explosion like an autocannon came from it which gave Shoji injuries he could handle. Shoji dashed toward him so he can bind him, but Katsuku's keen battle sense allowed him to jump and use his explosion at precise moment to injure Shoji. He used his explosion as a propulsion and dashed toward the fake bomb and give it a tap, and with that announcement of hero team win was made by All Might. Katsuku, I rock baby. Just wish these two make me appear in near future, but there is something I need to talk about, that thing piece of skeleton. Shoji, you are not going to defuse fusion. Katsuku, sorry Shoji, but I thought I should have everyone look of me. I don't know if they will like it or not. Sorry for using you as a bait and for those explosion. But old habits die hard, I guess. Shoji, I believe you are talking from Katsuki's perspective of beating and apologizing on behalf of Izuku. What is your name? Katsuku, Katsuku, let's go, we don't have enough time. And bring that half and half with you. I hit him quite hard with this shield. With that, Shoji left to pick Todoroki, and 3 of them left for the class which was waiting in the monitoring room. Meanwhile, in the monitoring room, Jiro, you are kidding me, Bakugo and Midoriya didn't stand the chance to fight against Todoroki, but that fusion just Kaminari obliterated them. Even Todoroki ice melted against his fierce explosion. That fusion power is totally nuts. Kirishima, did you hear his speech? Bakugo was arrogant in his speaking for a bit. This fusion was a bit respectful in his way of speaking, but it seemed like it was probably Midoriya influence on his personality. Tsuyu, his fire power of explosion turned green with even more explosive power. His fighting skills heightened with top-notch of battle prediction skills. He is talented in compared to the both of them. Zero, but he also said that we all will fail compared to Midoriya. Is he underestimating us? Tokoyami, he is right in his evaluation. Even I hate to admit it, but fusion power depends on the skills of fusees. It means if we improved along with Midoriya, fusion potential will also increase, so in that sense he is right in a way. It seemed that before we can shine, Midoriya will outshine us. Toru, but doesn't it makes you excited? Look how Bakugo quirk improved with fusion. I want to see how my quirk will mutate with Izuku fusion quirk and what will be my potential as a fusion. Don't you think so? I might become visible in fusion. Don't you want to know how you guys will look in your fusion state? Mina, I also kinda want to know what I can do if I fused with Izuku. Aoyama thinking, fusion I have to avoid him at all cost. For my parents' sake. Once they were done interacting with each other, Katsuku came forward from the entrance after completing his battle trial, seeing Shoji carrying Todoroki along with him. Everyone was looking at the Katsuku with awe of excitement and some with fear. Kirishima came forward. Kirishima, you were awesome, man. You used your explosion against Todoroki ice like it was nothing. Katsuku, well, that was me being awesome. Ida, I believe you have calmed down with Izuku mindset, don't you? Katsuku, you don't have to rub it my face, Ida. All Might, well done students, I guess it's time to review for your evaluation. Katsuku, All Might, Katsuki will be taking to you later, got that? All Might, I got it, young Bakugo. With that, Katsuku split up between the two of them into Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Bakugo. While Katsuki looked at Izuku with respect and shock of how he actually felt about him, Izuku just moved away from him, taking his shield, feeling so irritated that Katsuki had so much negative thoughts about him just because he admired him. They both didn't spoke to each as Katsuki cannot bring himself to apologize for the wrongs he had to him. Izuku just looked away, not wanting to be a bother again. During the evaluation, Midoriya, Izuku, and 𝐒𝐿𝐴 are declared as MVP of the event because even though he was doing things all alone, but he compromised with the situation, eventually winning the entire event. All these were being said by Yaoyorozu. She also criticized Bakugo and Todoroki for their attitude, and 𝐒𝐿𝐴 dutifully fulfilled his duty without damaging any further collateral damage. All Might was impressed at the result of this girl. With that evaluation they continued the test, which helped Izuku to understand the capabilities of others' quirks. Many were gathering around him, but he didn't pay any attention to them, even to 𝐻𝗂𝐻𝗃. He did not have any time to be the center of attention. These people are only gathering around him because of his quirk and nothing else. He can tolerate Ida, Ochako and Itsuka because Ida had shown him sincerity through his speech and conduct, and in girls had shown compassion after the fusion thing happened. While many such as Kirishima, Kaminari and Ishido tried to speak with him, he was not paying any attention to them, just focusing on others' matches and focusing on their quirks. Nothing else was on his mind. Analysis is his best strength, and he is going to figure his best how to break everyone's quirk so he can stand on equal ground. As the match continued, he wrote his analysis notebook vol number 14 with such speed that others were a bit scared of him. And finally battle trial ended as All Might left with a flash exit showing his example of how hero should exit. While students was impressed with that exit, Izuku just gave a sigh and left to attend his class. Classes proceeded normally for him with other subjects, and finally time came to leave the school. He left alone without giving anyone a goodbye. As classified, Izuku had to surrender his shield to UA, as even though it was his property, as long as he's studying in UA and did not get his license of hero, he has to register it as a support item to be submitted to UA. As he was leaving only to be joined by Uraraka and Ida, and from later Itsuka joined him, so at least they can travel together. Bakugo also decided to leave, but for different reason. He went to Teacher's Lounge to meet All Might to finally corner him with questions. A lot of questions. The meeting and the secret came as a whole to Katsuki Bakugo. He who believed that winning is the way of a hero cannot comprehend what he felt when he remembered his memories piece by piece. The hero he admired all this time was so weak and so injured. He remembers his memories again, but this time along with Deku's perspective. To think he was too cruel in his behavior to such a kind person who admired him from the bottom of his heart, only to be bullied by him because he cannot contain his ego. And now with fusion, whatever bond he had with Izuku/Deku is gone. He went straight to the Teacher's Lounge where All Might in his weakened form was resting. He had a lot of questions, but the first thing that came from his mouth: "Katsuki, why did you have to say those words to Deku?" All Might: "Young Bakugo, I take you have received the memory from young Midoriya about our conversation." Katsuki: "Why did you say that to him?" All Might: "Why did you have to be so cold? Moreover, I am angrier at myself. So much anger that I don't know what to do with it." Yagi: "Young Bakugo, then you also remember what this injury means. I just didn't wanted him to walk on this path, so he will eventually end up like me." Katsuki: "Who did this to you?" Yagi: "The evil who ruled Japan with his iron fist. The first human who established law through SBMSN and cruel methods. The time when Japan was isolated and evil was at the peak of his power, and he ruled it with iron fist. His name is not known in the entire history but feared by a single name. His name is All for One." Katsuki: "All for One. All Might, you all should not just stay there. You know it's bad manner to spy in middle of a conversation." Katsuki was shocked when All Might shifted his focus from him. And when Katsuki leaned, he saw Itsuka, Ochako, Ida and Monoma accompanied by 𝐻𝗂𝐻𝗃, Momo, other girls of Class 1B whose name he can't even remember, as they wanted to see why Bakugo did not join them and left them. Momo: "𝐻𝗂𝐻𝗃, All Might, is that you?" Yagi showed a glimpse of injury to others and locked the door so they won't be able to leave and no one can enter, as he placed teachers in meeting "Do Not Disturb" at the door, only to be accompanied by Aizawa and Nezu. Aizawa: "What we are going to discuss here should remain within these walls, or I will have no choice but to ask someone to have memory erasing quirk erase your memories or permanently remove you from this academy." Setsuna: "Kendo, you know about All Might being this injured?" Itsuka: "From the fusion memories of Izuku. But that was really a worst from you, All Might. I have lost my respect for you as a hero." Pony: "What is All for One?" Nezu: "Not what is the right question, Miss Tsunatori." Ida, Monoma and others are still digesting from the shock they had received from the injury, and then All Might spoke. "All Might, since you kids have brought it, you should know the history of Japan quirk era. Before the law was established, people when there were majority of quirkless, and quirked people are deprived from their rights. A person with a unique quirk showed up. The quirk to take away quirk from anyone and give quirks to anybody. That's where the name All for One started. All people felt happy as their wish was being granted, but it came with a great price. People gave their soul to him and eventually he gained followers. So much that people lost the ability to decide who was in control. During that time, All for One had one brother and sickly at that who would not bend to his brother will. For All for One believed his brother to be quirkless, he gave him a quirk so that his brother can join him on his journey to conquer the world. Kinoko, but he rebelled against him. All Might. Yes, that younger brother did received a stockpile quirk, that quirk merged with his quirk, transferring of quirk, and eventually named to known as One for All. A stockpile of power and strength accumulated by one person and then transferred to another at the moment of their death. A quirk All for One was not able to steal his entire life as he went to hunt down every single holder from his time. And I am its 8 wilder who used this power to defeat All for One. For that I always believed but what All Might? 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘, he failed to kill him and All for One survived as he is gathering more quirk and now waiting to strike again in this world to put it in chaos once again. Aizawa, he came here with a single intention to find a successor who can inherit this quirk and we have already selected a candidate from 3rd year to inherit this quirk. Until 𝗧𝗜𝗧𝗟𝗘, Izuku Midoriya awakened his quirk. Monoma, and you want Midoriya to take responsibility for your failure. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Aizawa, that is not the only intention. We chose him specifically to protect his quirk to be stolen by this threat. Nizu, since you kids don't know of the matters. There are certain syndicate that had developed drags to make one quirk out of control. And few months ago, a giant had appeared seeking the path about All Might, and 2 of the witness of that incident are in Class 1A. Their name you may know as 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 and Ishido Mina. Katsuki, that weird hair and raccoon eyes. Aizawa, their names are 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 and Mina Ishido. They were lucky that they managed to distract him to cause any heinous incident. But I'm not sure about their mental health. It takes a huge toll to face that kind of terror. All Might, this is the only way I can protect young Midoriya and his quirk. I'm not his idol anymore. The only thing Midoriya is believing is in himself. He has come a long way and it's way too long for me to amend my mistake. The only thing I can make sure that I will be able to put that All for One out of the history and back in prison once and for all. Yui, why not give him sooner? Why waiting this long? As that question brought some mystery among other. The one who answered wasn't Uraraka, Katsuki or Itsuka. It was Tenya who realized the intent of the delay. Ida, his physical condition is within safety measures. I think instead of being overprotective, you should give him that quirk. Before it's too late. With that being said, All Might/Yagi reached to one conclusion. Before Night Eye decide to take measure in his hand, he will give Izuku Midoriya his quirk. Aizawa informed them to maintain the secrecy and Nizu giving them a threat to be removed from school and a permanent mark in their history sheet was clean. As student decided to leave for their home. Everyone was now concerned about the future of Izuku Midoriya. The burden that came with that kind of quirk is really heavy. What All Might is asking is not a simple task but a goddamn responsibility for the rest of his life. They cannot even comprehend the weight of that responsibility. Yui bluntly asked the group about who is going to inform him. While Itsuka did criticized for her blunt way of speaking, it was Monoma who decided to take responsibility of that role. After knowing of danger of that kind of quirk being stolen and used for the intention of pure evil, Monoma knew very well the broader aspect of a quirk being used for evil intentions, as his quirk also falls in the same category, but he came to UA with the intention to be a hero to prove that he is not some villain and not even a side character. He will become the key factor of the story of Izuku Midoriya so he can finally fulfill what others and All Might failed to achieve. Putting an end to the symbol of evil. As next day, after facing the invultures known as media, Izuku attended his classes and during the break Nito came to talk to Izuku and asked about his personal view of his quirk and his classmates' quirks. At first Izuku was very skeptical of him, but later with interacting with him, Izuku came to realize why Monoma tends to act as bad person. It seems just like him, Monoma was bullied for his quirk. while Izuku disregarded the evil aspect of Monoma Quirk. Monoma felt like he is betraying Izuku trust, but Izuku, who was really good at judging a person, asked him, "Izuku, Monoma, why are you feeling bad? Are you hiding something that you want to say but feeling a bit guilt for asking?" Monoma, who was really having a hard time, asked him a question in puzzle manner. He asked, "Hey Izuku Midoriya, it is just a simple question. Izuku, let's say there is a very old man who has the power to steal quirks, and he wants to take all the powerful quirk in his arsenal. Seeing this evil nature, his younger brother rebelled, and in order to stop him he fought but lost as he is suffering from disease. So he used his quirk and transferred his gathered strength to his friend who helped him, and second gave it to his comrade who rebelled against the evil brother and devastated his empire. After seeing his empire destroyed, evil went after the third with the intention to steal the quirk that his brother had given to others, but every time failed, and it kept going on until one day he was beaten to the pulp so badly that they almost took each other's life. Evil went in shadows to collect more power, but the injured rebelled was on the verge of death, so that he can almost lose his life any moment. Do you think he should pass down that quirk, or keep it with himself? Izuku, of course, he should just discard. If this quirk is that much important to evil brother, then after losing it the evil one will stop coming after Monoma, but there is a problem. You see, this quirk has been acting as a weapon to stop the evil brother. And if this quirk is gone, evil shall spread to the world with no hope of humanity to ever win. Izuku, in that case, that injured man should just choose someone soon before it vanishes with him. It is really simple. Monoma. But the person this injured one has chosen has been hurt by his words so badly that they don't see other eye to eye. Izuku, I am not getting your point, Monoma, as he was about to ask it. Alarms started sirening as level 3 security has been detected. While everyone was pushing everyone, Izuku was cursing everyone at the naivety they are showing. Seeing the tough situation, he unwillingly decided to touch Katsuki Bakugo, who was sitting right at the corner, and this Monoma gave him the shoulder. Katsuki, who was about to use his explosion when saw Deku coming to him and didn't stop his touch, and then the flashlight began as fusion process began and Katsuku appeared once again. While few of them was shocked by the light show. Katsuku, who was not happy with the situation, decided to take matter in his hands. He used his explosion to reach that emergency exit front gate and gave a loud explosion to create attention, and then loudly said, "Die, Katsuku, enough of your nonsense. You are in Fing cafeteria where some are trying have lunch peacefully. For God's sake, you are at UA Academy. Not at your home, idiots. You want to know what was the reason for the alarm? Fine, hear it." Katsuku then spoke in a loud voice, "Ida, what is the cause of all this nonsense?" Ida then loudly replied, "Someone from the media has breached the academy." Katsuku heard that. "It is just those DMN annoying vultures known as media. Rets, get a grip. In this academy no one is going to kill you. It is Fing School of Pro Heroes." Katsuku then continued to say, "And thanks to your idiocy, 2 of my classmates are in a terrible condition as you lot kept kicking them with your stupidity. Kirishima Kaminari, take a look at the right direction downside. I think Mineta has an injury there, and Kendo, go to your left side at the window direction. Some idiot had jumped that petite girl whose name is Komori. Take a look at her if she is injured. And one last warning from this dear Katsuku, behave like a human being, idiots." After saying all that, everyone calmed down and decided to proceed peacefully. Katsuku also jumped and defused, and everyone was shocked to see that lousy individual became 2 different individual, and Izuku reached to Monoma's side as Katsuki also reached them. "Izuku, Nido Monoma, you are talking about me in that story, and that man is the hero I had clash with. Monoma, as expected, you saw our interaction with that hero. So what is your answer, my friend?" "Izuku, I will talk with him. Later after the class is over. Tell him that." "And Kaken, or would you prefer Katsuki?" "Katsuki, whatever seems fine you." "Izuku, don't take it personal, Katsuki. I understand your viewpoint now. I will not get in your way anymore. But unlike me, you understand the gravity of this situation. I need someone who I can trust in dire situation. Will you help me?" "Katsuki, if it is necessary. I will do anything." "Izuku, good. Let's go for our class." After all the commotion happened in the cafeteria, 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐦𝐚𝐫𝐲 decided to announce the reason of class president, and thanks to Ida's suggestion it was decided by the voting. When voting result came, the name which appeared on the board were Katsuki Bakugo and Izuku Midoriya, both having 3 votes in their card. As 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐽 was about to announce them as class rep and vice rep, both of them stood up and loudly said, "Izuku/Katsuki, not a chance/go to hell. Izuku, there is no way I am going to be a dorm mother of this class. Katsuki, I agree with you Deku. I have no interest in this stupidity. Izuku/Katsuki, who are those idiots who voted for us? Tsuyu, wow, they are in complete sync. Toru, kinda like brothers. Tokoyami, 2 sides of the same coin. Kirishima, but Bakugo, I voted for you because of the manliness you did at the cafeteria. Zero, yeah dude, you calmed down the entire crowd and stoked the madness. Kaminari, yeah you even saved my neta. Dude, look at the prestige it will bring it. Katsuki, making a menacing face, said, I am going to kill you guys later on. Kirishima, Kaminari and Zero was kinda scared of that face. And who are the idiots who voted for me, as Izuku asked the rest of the class. But to his surprise no response came. Izuku, fine, you don't want me to tell your name, it's okay. But listen, I wish it'd help you change your opinion. I am not a leader material. You guys should know better. I can be a better team partner thanks to my recently awakened quirk, but I don't trust anyone. Katsuki is a solo fighter. Only if situation is dire he will team up, otherwise forget teamwork. We are the worst pair to entrust with this post. Because our ideologies are different and we barely tolerate each other's presence. And specifically, I am not a good leader. I don't follow rules, and more clearly I don't like rules heroes are following nowadays. I don't take orders from anyone. I will always do what my heart tells me is right. So please forget that I will ever become your class leader. Aizawa-sensei, better make Ida the president and Princess Momo, I guess her name, is the vice president, as they are the only candidates who holds more votes in this class. Aizawa, you both sure about this? This opportunity will not come again for you guys. Katsuki, I don't care either way. Izuku, works for me. Aizawa, alright, Ida Tenya is your class president and Momo Yaoyorozu is vice president. Congratulations and do your job well. Izuku/Katsuki, thanks/finally got rid of the trouble. Ida, Midoriya, I know why you are hesitant. But this is one promise. Until you are ready to accept this position back, I will only look after this position. Izuku mumbled in his heart, sorry, but that is not going to happen anytime soon. With that, position was announced, and also the final talk to take the quirk also happened, as when everyone leave the class. Momo and Ida along with Katsuki decided to reach at the principal's office. There he found Nito along with class 1B girls there, and among a small girl came and thanked both Izuku and Katsuki. Kinoko, thank you 𝐮𝐲𝗓. You both saved from the incident that happened in the morning. Izuku, it's okay Mississippi Komori. Komori, it's Kinoko Komori. Katsuki, whatever. Can we get to the point, principal sir? Izuku, sorry. We can talk later, Komori-san. Sir, I kinda had to use fusion, and tomorrow talk of what happened. I am well aware with it. About One for All and what All Might has to offer. Principal, I am aware Mr. Midoriya, and you using fusion to dissolve the situation was neat. But you should have worked on your language. Izuku, I am not completely fault here, sir. It's just Nedzu, your fusion partner happened to have a very colorful language which gets somewhat toned down in your fusion. Well, I am glad you are accepting and adapting to your quirk. Mr. Midoriya, then you must also be aware that who was our first choice for this position. Izuku, yes sir, and I appreciate that you deserve me to be such a candidate. But sir, before I accept this new quirk, I have some condition. All Might, I am willing to hear it, young Midoriya. Izuku, thanks, I guess. Here it is, All Might, so listen well. My first condition. I don't want to be the next symbol of peace. I don't believe in the notion of one-man army. This society and the heroes who are working in this era had gone complacent. They are walking on the road you have smoothed down for them. They don't realize what this job is supposed to be. I'm not going to be the next you. I want to be a fusion hero, and I want to create that base as my personality to define who I am. Not a powerful hero, but one who is willing to struggle with others who are willing to walk on the rough path. All Might, I accept it. My second condition, I am not going to do my internships with Night Eye or Gran Torino. Because I am different from you, All Might. I am not what they want and I am never going to be what you intended. So there is no way they are going to trust me. But I will walk on the path of the hero of what I believe is right. Not what you have created. All Might, they think you are like a god, who is the only way for their security and safety. But to be honest, I do not believe that. You are a mortal, one who can bleed and those who bleed can die in battle. I believe only in my karma. If I doing the right things will make me less of a hero, then I am going to crush the ideology of what they have decided as a real hero. All Might, I accept it too. My final condition, I want you keep on living and look after us in the future. Please don't throw away your life for the sake of your ideology. It is better to face the choices of your consequences rather than living with the intention to die. I know that look once I see it, All Might. I have seen that face a lot more times you can ever imagine. That came as a shock to All Might. This kid was telling what he was thinking. Izuku, don't even think about dying on me. You got that? I want you to live your life. As much I hate to admit it, I don't want to see your dead body so soon. I know because of your injuries your lifespan is shortened, but please, for the sake of upcoming generation, don't you dare die on me until you see me become a hero who will overshadow you so that people won't even remember you as a symbol of peace. Got that? All class was shocked of what Izuku was saying, and they were further shocked when All Might announced it. All Might, Shonen. I admit it, I was not looking at the real you, and for that I am sorry. You see, Night Eye has already predicted my future. And in 1 year I am going die. I believed it so easily that I know I cannot change my words, but I have no intention to die anyone. I will twist and defy my very fate just like you. Young Midoriya. Let's do it. For a better future. With that, All Might entrusted the quirk, but it was so disgusting for Izuku Midoriya. These things should come with a warning because he was so not ready for this change. Though there was no surge of such raw power. Well, All Might did told it will take some time to kick and to feel the change, but whatever it might be he can come up with it in the tomorrow training. Which will be happening outside the UA campus. He was not only the effective one but practical one because last time he was left with some broken ankle and nausea of other people. The pro heroes are going to get a heart attack, the UA is going to change, and Midoriya develops a heart to be up front with everyone what is in his mind. What is in the journey of Izuku Midoriya? That answer is going to come very soon.